What's up, guys?
Everybody? How's it going?
It's a good day.
It's a good day. How are you guys doing?
Oof, I'm tired, but I am good. Doing well.
Yeah. So thanks everybody so far. This is the first stream on the new channel, my new little adventure that I've taken on since kind of taking a step back from Apprentice Ewok. But yeah, I want to say thank you everybody who's helped support me on this so far with the Icebox comics and games. I'm glad that this is the first stream where I get to talk an awesome comic book movie with two of the best friends in our community, and that's Thousandth Ghost and Sleeping Collectibles.
I know those guys.
Yeah.
So let's see here.
Steph.
Chris is here in multiple places.
Well, you
Brandon,
gotta start getting your watch hours up.
Yeah. Yeah. Forgot all about that again. Hey, Steve-O, how's it going?
It's unfortunate that you can't share watch hours between two channels.
Yeah. Oh, jeez. Is anybody getting static?
I am not.
Okay.
Things sound good.
Okay. I think it might just be me. Okay. Oh, well. But, yeah. So today, as you can see from the title, we're going to talk the Batman. And hopefully everybody has gotten a chance to see it. I know the three of us on screen have. Otherwise, it would be kind of sad that, we'd be spoiling things. But we did tag spoilers, so we'll go with it. And if people haven't seen it, we'll warn them. But hopefully the title will tell people to be careful. How's it going, G-Force? G is here. Rick, Left Coast Graphics is here. So everyone sounds good. Okay. G-Force hasn't seen it, but he doesn't care. Oh,
he's
man.
watched like 5 different. I know he's been on my stream Friday, and he was on the stream I was on Sunday. He knows everything now.
Let's see here. Oh, jeez.
I have some folks asking for your link, so I'm going to send the link out right now.
Oh, okay. Awesome. Appreciate it.
Blue Harvest is looking for it too, apparently. I just got a message. So I just sent it through. We should see some eyeballs in here very, very quickly.
Cool.
Good. We put it around Twitter and everything.
We did, and I just put it on my Instagram, so we'll see what happens.
Well, thank you guys. Yeah, so I don't know if you guys wanted to go over pickups that you got before we start talking the Batman while we wait for people to get in here. I know pickups have been, either feast or famine kind of lately, but yeah.
I have been feasting. I've got some great stuff this week.
Nice. Hey, Blue.
Yay. Well, while you're rating, make sure you hit like and subscribe.
Bingo bango.
Congrats to G-Force for 500. Nice job.
That's
Nice.
incredible. Good work, G.
Yeah. So if one of you guys wanted to go, I think I've got a couple things here that I need to see if they're related to what our topic is. But,
The only thing I've picked up this week so far, I generally go on Thursdays shopping now because that's when I get paid. So the only thing I've gotten this week
Ooh,
is Fezzik,
we like that Fezzik.
especially because he comes with a peanut. My favorite thing about it, the face is kind of weird, kind of like the Patterson Batman. It doesn't quite look right, but I still love it. But now I have to have another one because they're making a second one with the cloak of insanity on him.
You're gonna need that.
Of course.
Yes.
So that's all I've picked up this week.
I've picked up a ton, but if I have to narrow it down, which I will, I'm going to keep it off topic real quick. A good friend of mine, Sensei Serum, sent me the carbonized pads.
Ooh, nice.
yeah, beautiful.
Love the carbonized figures. I know it's a topic of much
Hatred.
in the community, but I really enjoy it. And looking at these figures, the gold that they use on Paz and the Scout Trooper convinces me entirely that we can get a carbonized C-3PO real soon. It
I
can be
love
done.
the figures. I just don't think they're worth another $10.
I agree. Also, this week I picked up an Amazing Spider-Man 209, First Calypso, who is going to be one of the main characters in the new Kraven the Hunter movie. And my biggest pickup of the week is the Amazing Spider-Man 50 1.5 slab, which is the debut of Kingpin in comic books.
Yep.
And those are my 3 favorite pickups this week.
What is the estimated value on that? Because I know it's a 1.5, but that book is still pretty.
Yeah, and it's the more he appears in Disney properties, the more expensive it's gotten. The value on the 1.5 is $500 right now.
Ooh.
If you get it above a 5, you're looking at $1,400 to $1,500 easy. Last year it was $300 for that book, and now it's $1,500.
Yeah.
Well, what's his girl show called? Is it Echo or
Echo? Yeah. It's his adopted daughter show. He's going to be a huge part of that, and now that Daredevil's confirmed to be on Disney Plus, I imagine we're going to get him awfully strong in that as well.
I'm excited. He's one of my favorite Marvel villains, and like his Marvel Legends figure is one of my favorites. And if I ever do a cosplay, I'm full on shaving my head and I'm getting a white suit and going as Kingpin.
Yes.
Yep.
Awesome.
I love that.
Yeah. Well, I still have a couple more. I might just show everything that just popped up. Nothing of it so far has been any superhero comics. It's all been Star Wars.
Ooh, can't go wrong there.
Yes, you're good. As always, it's a lovely day for a Guinness.
Oh, okay. Well, I did get the Venom. So those are pretty. Venom 30 and Venom 33. But I got the first comic appearance of Grogu and the Mandalorian.
I like that a lot.
Yep. And then where'd the other one go? Oh, damn.
Hey, Dave's Dimension. I need to get with you and try and create. I'd like to set up a Ghostbusters Afterlife talk with you. I have lots of questions. And I'm hoping you and your Ghostbuster buddies have already worked out by now.
And then the last of the phase 1 of the High Republic comics.
Nice.
Those books have been the biggest surprise to me of the last year and a half. They've been so good and so well written.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yep. And a lot of them are actually kind of spiking in value too, because some of the print runs were lower and people are trying to get them now. So
I actually there's a 9.8 that I have in my cart on eBay right now, and I'm trying to talk the guy down. He wants a lot for it. It's signed as well, so it's a CGC signature, and it's something I want, but I'm just waiting for the moment.
Oh.
Oh, well, good thing I said all that.
Thank you, Dave.
Yeah, it does look very good. But you were saying it has the detached cover.
Yeah. It's got amazing color to it, but the 2 staples here on the side are out, so the cover's not attached, which makes it an instant 1.5.
Yeah.
Otherwise, the book is absolutely gorgeous. Very, very little coloring. Some minor yellowing, some chipping up top, but it's because the cover's not attached.
Fiber for that print still stands. Oh, no. The Kingpin. No.
Well, I've died.
Well,
tried to adjust my camera and it just fell off the stand. What's up, guys?
Here we go. We'll wait for
he's not going to make it all the way to Oregon with us. I'm sorry.
But no, I was telling the guys before the show that I have a couple of the Batman from the Batman movie of the comic covers that are going to be coming out, and they might still be another month out or so, just because of shipping and everything like that.
I'll ask about those tomorrow and see what I definitely would want that 89 if they did that.
Yeah, Yeah.
Were they doing one for every Batman movie, or?
You know what?
I mean, not that I, like one for Batman and Robin or anything, but I'd probably buy it to complete a set.
I will check. But of course, you type in the Batman and then you get like 1,000 results.
Yeah, that's true. Batman comic. Oh.
There's a cool hardcover one with him swooping down
Several.
for Batman 89, but if I find them, I'll send you.
Okay.
Send you
I
anything.
gotta go. I'll have to check that out on the way home tomorrow.
Yeah. Yes.
It has been that kind of day, and it's getting closer to St. Patty's. So I'll go to the store Thursday, pick up a couple corned beef to cook.
Uh-oh.
You don't know me. Don't know me.
All right, here, I'm going to share. While we wait for sleeping, I will share the screen on this because this is the one that I'm.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
This one.
Actually, I like that. I like those other two. What are those other two? The Riddler, 66 Riddler, and the Scooby-Doo.
Yeah.
Are those both Batman titles, or are they different titles?
Batman and Scooby-Doo Mysteries.
Okay.
Number 9 and number 7.
Okay, I'll have to look for those.
Number 12. I was trying to sort it out because I know that they have the covers for the. Like they've got one with Catwoman, the Penguin.
Yeah.
Batman.
Random Funko.
I didn't sort it by comic. I should have. But
oh, there's the Penguin.
Yeah, this is the Penguin that I couldn't. It says he was released the same date as
He looks okay, maybe.
Yeah. But dang it, I can't. I think there were probably about 6 different covers that I got that went along with this, and they looked pretty darn fantastic. But I'll stop sharing that for a second. Bottled Guinness.
Yeah, they were out of cans.
Ginger ale at 2 p.m. Hey, JT, how's it going?
Guys.
Oh.
Nice. IPAs are decent.
Hopefully sleeping's not having too many issues, but GeForce, I think I fixed it. But yeah, man. So I will start off by saying this. I went to the Batman with my sister, her boyfriend. My niece didn't come with us, so it was us 3. There were probably 30 people in the whole theater. The guy behind us literally fell asleep and was snoring. And my sister looks over at me and she's like, "Is that dude sleeping?" And I was like, "Yeah." And we joked about maybe throwing popcorn at him, but there was some loud explosion and he woke up. But so he fell asleep behind us, and then in front of us there were a row of teenagers and then a row of little kids. And just watching, I realized that it won't hold everybody's attention like other movies have. Hey, Sleepy.
What's up, guys? I am back.
Nice. Got it. Everything fixed?
Yeah, I just bought a new camera mount. So I have a tripod attached to my desk. It's like a swinging boom arm. And when I went to move the camera up, the whole arm just fell down and I had to reset everything.
No.
GeForce feels sorry that he killed you.
I blame GeForce. He has to repay me with his Asajj Ventress statue. It's the rules.
Ooh.
I don't make them.
Yeah.
That's rough.
Hey, JT.
Yeah. So I was just telling Chris, I don't know how much you heard, but they're the kids in front of us and the teenagers in front of us that had a hard time paying attention to it. But the guy sitting behind us literally fell asleep and was snoring.
In the Batman?
In the Batman. And
What?
we could not. It was, I want to say it was around the 2/3 point through the movie, and we're sitting there and we're hearing this snoring, and we're like, oh my God, that guy's asleep. But I honestly could not believe, because I was so locked in. But I just wanted to, there were about 30 people in our theater. So it was kids.
Yeah. Everybody about, I don't know, 2:30-ish started looking at their phones. But we didn't have anybody fall asleep.
Yeah.
We had some rowdy college kids in the back. We went and saw it late night, and I live in a college town, so there was a lot of laughter and chatter and stuff. But once the movie got rolling about half an hour in, everybody settled down and was locked.
Yeah. So as soon as it was announced and I saw, the cast and everything, I was like, okay, I expect good performances. I did not expect Robert Pattinson to be as good as he was. I was very cautiously optimistic about this movie. I was very skeptical. And I'm honestly blown away by it. Like for the last couple of days, I can't stop thinking about it, like parts of it. I want to go see it again.
I think I want to go see it again as well.
Yeah.
I was thinking about seeing it Thursday again.
Well, why don't we just all go together? We'll go see it. It'll be a good time.
Let's meet in St. Louis. That's about middle.
It's about mid, yeah.
Yeah.
Did anyone else have audio issues with like the stream or with the movie? I'm guessing with the movie.
Oh, I had when that Batmobile revved up, I had no problem hearing.
Oh,
Goosebumps.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I could feel it in my bunghole.
I don't even know where to start with this, just because it was, and of course I can't find it. So basketball season ended, everything like that. I went and I traveled my 4 hours round trip, and one of the only things I got on the trip was the new Batmobile.
I love that.
Yep. And oh man. And I got done watching the movie and I was just like, I really want to play Arkham, like the Arkham games. Yes. So I've got them downloaded again.
The whole movie was just Arkham.
It really was.
I don't like it. Some of the fights,
The fight, especially the fight in the very beginning in the subway, that felt very Arkham to me. You walk into the gang of baddies and you just very cool feeling.
Button mash the piss out of them. Just,
you got to drop from the sky first and then sneak.
Yeah.
Well, we might as well just start at the beginning.
Yeah.
Let's go.
What I liked is you got a touch of the long Halloween. It's Halloween, and finally we see a little bit of Halloween on Gotham. And then, while I did at the beginning really think that the Riddler was just a Kmart version of the Zodiac, his entrance of just being there all of a sudden, and he's behind him, and the guy's still on his phone, he has no clue somebody else is there, was really spooky and was excellent. Great introduction for a character.
Not what I expected at all. I was pleasantly surprised with that.
Yeah.
And that opening little bit where he's walking through the hallway with the cops and everything too, and it was awesome. Just you can tell they're just like creeped out, but at the same time it's like, holy shit. Like that guy put his hand on his that guy put his hand on his chest, the way he looked down at him, like, really don't want to do this.
Yeah. It was interesting because I'd like to I never ask for homework out of movies. I would like a comic series or a book or something that explain what happened in year one.
Yeah.
We're going to get that in the Coppelpot series or not. But now that the Gotham Cops series has been canceled, I don't think we're going to get it there. But I want to know kind of why the cops, because when you look at them, the cops are like, you're interfering. You're a vigilante. We don't trust you. So I'd like to see all that.
Yeah. And that's what I liked about this is it's so like people are like, well, he's been Batman for 2 years. And it's like, but it really doesn't seem like he's done all that much yet.
Yeah.
And I really like the way that he go, the lines at the beginning about being, you know, vengeance and the darkness and stuff like that, and the shadow, but then how he evolves through the movie. I this has been my favorite Batman movie.
Agreed.
Like, yeah.
This
And
is my third favorite, but that's
Okay.
generational differences.
yeah. Well, yeah.
Before this, I would have said Dark Knight Bale was the best Batman, but this one really raised the bar for me.
I think most people my age will not give up Batman 89.
Yeah, I think Keaton's forever for you guys.
Yeah. For us, it's always going to be Keaton. For your generation, it was and might still, once you rewatch and stuff, Dark Knight. And
Dark Knight's good.
Yeah.
My second is probably always going to be why can't I ever remember this when I need it? The animated movie.
Phantasm?
Mask of the Phantasm.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's a good one too.
I still think that's the most complete Batman movie ever. But
I forgot about. Now I gotta like reevaluate. Phantasm's really good.
I loved all those growing up as a kid. I had them, like, you know, on VHS and stuff like that, and we just pop them in. I honestly think if I hadn't burnt out the Phantom Menace on VHS, it would have been one of the Batman VHSs.
Yeah, because Mask of the Phantasm and Sub-Zero are probably two of the best stories.
Yeah.
Those are good ones.
Oh, I didn't have any issues with the conversations.
Yeah, it's not like he was
same.
doing bail or anything.
Yeah.
I could hear him properly.
I think he was talking about, but it was the audio issues.
Oh,
I don't know if it's just because our theaters are so small where I am that the sound blending is usually really, really good. So they really have a good balance between action and dialogue. So. Yeah.
Oh, John Turturro.
Yeah, he had a top 3 performance in the movie.
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah.
I actually was not even going to go see the movie. I had kind of decided I was tired of the hype and I was going to wait. And then I saw a clip and I didn't even know John Turturro was in the movie.
I didn't.
I'm there.
They kept it very hush.
Yeah, and you know, I think that I really enjoyed it, but then after seeing this, I was like, they really did tell two different, like completely different styles of story with the Dark Knight and with the Batman. And, you know, they really went into the detective side of it with this movie. And it was that crime noir, you know, it was, and that's not what I was expecting. I expected, you know, the darker, grittier movie and stuff like that. But even what we got was not what I was expecting. And that was in a really good way. I wasn't like, oh, this is boring or anything like that. I was like locked in the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
I had serious concerns when I first saw the toy line. When I saw the Legos, I was like, we're going to get a watered down Batman. This isn't what I wanted it to be. I want it to be dark and gritty. And I was very surprised. We even got an F-bomb in a Batman movie, which I wasn't expecting.
Why? Because Lego lied to us with the set called The Riddler Enters the Batcave.
I just mentioned that in my toy hunt that I filmed today. I held that set and I go, I don't remember this scene. What is this? It doesn't even look like the Riddler.
Yeah. It's as if they were given, because what's correct in that whole series are the Batmobile and the set that has the two motorcycles in it.
Yep.
Pretty much everything else in that is like, what can we recycle from Batman?
Yep.
He played Falcone.
Falcone.
Yep.
A really good Falcone too.
It was awesome. And yeah.
Yep.
And I was reading something saying that the Gotham PD show has kind of morphed into what will be an Arkham series now.
Now, so I don't know anything about the Gotham PD show. What is that?
The PD show was going to be Jeffrey Wright's show.
Yeah.
And it was basically going to be kind of a prequel-ish show to the Batman that showed Gotham PD dealing with stuff. And the Batman was never going to be in it, but the Batman was going to be there all the time.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? And now they've decided that they want to go into Arkham and they want to delve into a little bit more of that. And if they do that, that's where I really hope that they introduce Harley Quinn.
As a nurse, not like crazy Harley.
She's a doctor there. She's a therapist.
Okay.
I'm really hoping that's where they introduce her. But they're still pretty far away from that one.
Now, this show, is it on currently or is it coming?
It's coming on HBO Max, probably deep into next year. The Penguin show is first.
I didn't even know there was a Penguin show.
Yeah, the Penguin show is going to be Colin Farrell reprising his role, but it's also a prequel.
Oh, I like that though. And
it's supposedly going to cover him kind of coming into Falcone's world and getting into the Iceberg Club, and them turning in Marconi. And so we'll have John Turturro back more than likely. I would also like to see that this is where you introduce Harvey Dent, because Harvey would be a low-level DA dealing with this stuff coming in, and then by the time the movie comes around, most of the DA department's dead. So, or up on drug charges or something. Mm-hmm. So I think that's where they could introduce him for possibly the next movie.
Do you think we get a sequel announcement this week or next week?
No, because Matt's already been talking, and he doesn't have a clear vision of what he wants to do for the sequel yet, he says.
I can respect that, though. Yeah. We're not rushing it. We're actually putting thought in, and that's something DC's not famous for, so I'm okay with that.
Well, yeah, because when Batman versus Superman came out, like literally the next day, we're like, oh, yeah, we're already shooting Justice League. And they didn't have time to make changes that everybody was like, no, this sucks. Stop it.
No more of this.
No more of this. And then we get, sad Affleck.
Poor Ben.
I love that.
So we're getting at least those two shows out of it. So we'll see, how they use it to set up the next film.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
But since the Batman's been done for over a year, I would assume that the Penguin show is already in production of some kind.
Yeah, that's something I forgot. I forgot that this show was filmed a year or two ago, and we're just now getting it because of all the delays and such.
Yeah.
Wow. It's interesting.
I'm trying to find stuff on it. But, oh, man. Honestly, every time I saw it, I was like, okay, I'm excited that this person is playing this person. I thought that Jeffrey Wright as Jim was awesome. I thought Zoe Kravitz as what the hell was that? Zoe Kravitz as Selena Kyle was great, but then Colin Farrell as the freaking Penguin was fantastic. I was like, oh my god, and I just love the way all the characters just, the way that they talk to each other.
I think Zoe stole the scene in every scene she was in. She absolutely demanded. It took her a while to find her character, but once she got in that role, I think she was phenomenal.
Well, and I said something on Twitter the other day that I truly believe now more than ever, hearing some other reviews and stuff, is I think the Riddler was the only person in this movie who knew who he was at the beginning.
Straight from the bat. Yep.
The Bat was year 2, and he wasn't sure. He wasn't even the Batman. He was Vengeance. Nobody calls him Batman except the Riddler.
Yeah.
So he's just Vengeance. And then the Catwoman is kind of this I'm trying to get back at daddy character. She has some incredible skills, probably. I don't know where she learned all that stuff, but, hope to find out that. And then Penguin is still Falcone's second guy. By the end of the movie, he's number 1.
Yep.
Jim Gordon is just a detective who is the only person who trusts the Bat. And by the end of the movie, obviously, he's going to move into, at least I would assume, the commissioner's role, because he's helped save the mayor.
So, I'd like to see how that relationship started, how Jim and Batman became Jim and Batman. Because at the beginning, like you said, he's the only one that is friendly or talks to the Batman. How did that come about?
Yeah. And they work together. This is really, apart from the animated series, this is the most Batman and Gordon have worked together as a team, solving things or going after somebody. And I loved that detective version of the two of them, with Zoe thrown in a little bit here and there to do some scouting for him.
Yep.
And it wasn't super overly techy, apart from, where does he get those
Contacts,
which would be great for toy hunting.
Can I have those? The new Apple eyes? You just like put them in and you roll.
Apart from that, everything else is pretty down to earth. He even has to make his own Batmobile.
Yeah, that's really cool. I enjoyed that aspect a lot.
Yeah. I loved it. I love it. It's such a beast too. Oh.
I would like a McFarlane like big boxed one. I would buy it immediately. Enough with the Batmobeast and the silly vehicles. Give me that, and we'll call it a day.
I'm waiting for Jada to make a big version of that.
That would be nice. I saw the Supernatural one today, and I almost bought it, but there's just something about Jensen's body that bothers me. I almost want to buy it, just get rid of it, and keep the car, but that would involve me opening it. And
oh, did you see the Optimus Prime?
No, I haven't seen the Optimus yet.
It's nice.
And Steve-O
with Jensen, but
Steve-O does mention that it's not that it's better than the Dark Knight. They're both great. You know, one's a specific. Yeah,
that does look really good.
Yeah,
it almost has a fire truck aspect to the cab. I like that a lot.
Yeah,
that's very cool. Nice.
It's nice. And you know, I haven't watched a lot of the outside stuff. I started watching Gotham when it was originally on, and I just couldn't quite get into it. I haven't watched any of the Batgirl. I tried watching Titans, and I would for a couple episodes, and it's just honestly the first Wonder Woman movie, this and Peacemaker are really the only things that I enjoyed out of anything that I've seen DC.
I can't get into the CW DC show. They just feel amateur hour to me. All of them do. Batgirl,
they're all really great for like the first season or so. And then they turn into the CW shows, or they try and cross over too much, and
can't do it.
Just it lost me.
Same. Yeah. I just can't get into it.
I loved Gotham because Gotham was like a grittier version of Batman 66 because the show's just nuts. And as the seasons go along, I mean, honestly, one of the best Jokers is in Gotham. That kid is incredible.
Cameron Monaghan, he's fantastic.
He's fantastic, and he's old enough. Get rid of this Eternals loser. Cast him as the Joker for the next Batman's. He's not doing anything. I think he's on Pretty Little Liars or something. I don't know. Get him off that crap.
My issue with him is I think he's only like 18, 19. He looks like he's 12.
Well, he's 20.
I think he's my age, yeah.
He's Brandon's age.
Yeah.
He looks like he's 12 though, and I have a hard time. Like we have Pat-Man fighting a 12-year-old, and I'm like, I don't know if I can get into it.
I haven't seen him recently. Maybe he's aged since
I haven't seen him either. Maybe.
Yeah.
He could be like that kid from the Maze Runner who like aged into a whole superstar now. He's like 6'5", 250 now.
Yeah. It was, you could barely, if you've seen a lot of Colin Farrell, you could tell it in his eyes just a little bit.
Yep.
But even that, he was somehow changing. Just a brilliant actor, really underrated. I know he's had a lot of issues off screen and stuff, but really underrated actor.
I'm trying to see if there's anything. They talk about the show getting a showrunner, but I don't see anything about when that will be coming to HBO Max.
I was kind of hoping it was already shooting.
Yeah, you think it would be, but I don't know.
Because anybody who saw this movie in a test screening would have given it super high marks. There's no way they couldn't have went in to go ahead and shooting that knowing, because somehow they made a Peacemaker show before Suicide Squad 2 came out.
How did James Gunn make us care about Peacemaker? Guy's a magician.
Yeah. You know, how did they make him the savior of the DCU? Until Michael Keaton comes out in The Flash. At the moment you have, like, really? You're making me care about him. You're some sort of wizard.
Never in my life have I thought, wow, I can't wait to see John Cena next week.
Yeah. That never happened in a WWE show.
Hey, Kat.
Yeah, the Batgirl movie is a weird thing because it's in normal DCU. Because
Right.
what's his name from Spider-Man is her dad. Plays J. Jonah Jameson.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
Him.
Plays her dad in the movie.
That's
God.
weird. I don't know if I could get into it. The only Batgirl that I'd really want to see is Broadside. Broadside Batgirl I would like to see. I don't think any of the others really appeal to me.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see because Michael Keaton is in that too. So it's going to be interesting to see how many movies Keaton's in and how does he get into the normal DCU. Surely they're not telling us that Batman 89 is in normal DCU.
Yeah, I don't know. Oh, Burnside Batgirl, not Broadside. Burnside. Yeah, that's the only Batgirl comic that I think could be transitioned into a movie properly.
Yeah.
I think we may just be pandering.
She's Gotham Knights.
Yeah.
She's the Oracle.
We could have a story with. I like the Oracle idea. Like Arkham. Take it from Arkham.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Hey, Space Buns.
I know her.
She's okay.
Without
100%.
There will not be a Robin in this series. Because Matt was asked about it in an interview and he kind of got a little prickly about it.
Can I pose a what if question for you?
Sure.
If we were going to cast a Robin in this universe, who would you pick?
Tom Holland.
Tom Holland would be your choice. I would choose number 5 from the Umbrella Academy.
Oh, yeah.
I think
I've never seen that show, so
it's a phenomenal show. I love it.
It would also depend on how they were going to introduce him. If they're going to go forward with this kind of Gotham is run by elite things, and they want to move more into the Owls storyline,
the Court of Owls.
Yeah.
They could bring him in, but we were talking about this on Luke's thing. I just don't think there's enough time to make me care about a Robin if they're only doing 3 movies.
Is that it? Just 3?
Well, people would like to go further, but how long can Patterson? He's 33. By the time there's 3 of these movies out, he'll be 44-ish.
Yeah.
Now, he could keep going.
He could. Maybe they transition him into the Batman Beyond instead of Keaton as Batman Beyond fodder.
If Patterson's going to keep going, I would like him to do 6 movies and then transition to Batman Beyond.
That could be nice.
There's going to be like 2-year time breaks between each film in universe.
Give it the Star Wars treatment where we get a year on, year off, and we build something. That could be nice.
Plus, whatever TV shows they decide to do, Zoe obviously needs her own movie where they can introduce Poison Ivy that way.
Wait till I get the first appearance book first, and then we get Poison Ivy. Let me get that comic first. It's only $4,000.
Let's start getting these spec books right now.
Well, if we can just get decent books, we now know somebody who can press them for us.
We do.
Now I have time to actually start working on that too. So
I have a friend who owns a comic book shop and another one who works under there, and they both have told me just go buy some dollar crap books from someplace and practice on all those as far as your cleaning and everything, because you don't want to screw up a decent comic.
Yep.
I'm sure he will, but I'll pass it on.
Yeah. Yep. I'm not messing with any valuable books at any time.
And see, collecting Star Wars is pointing to a good spot. The mayor's son, he could actually be a decent Robin.
Oh,
as far as not actually being Robin, but being a boy we care about. I don't know if Luke or Aaron said it, but what if he kind of starts admiring Robin in the same way that what's his name did in The Incredibles? And he kind of worships him and he starts dressing like him and stuff. And then in movie 2, at the end of movie 2 or in movie 3, Joker kills that kid just like he kills Robin in Death in the Family. Where we actually care about this kid and we know that Bruce cares about him. Because he's kind of the same way of, you need to not do this. He's getting in fights at school. You need to stop that kind of thing. And so he's taking him kind of under his wing, but he's not actually Robin. He's just a placeholder for Robin.
I love that.
Yeah, and then Joker kills him.
Do we have Joaquin Phoenix Joker kill him or new Joker?
There'll be that new Joker. I don't think you don't cast somebody known person who's in Eternals or whatever, and then not use him. Now they didn't show his face and everything, so they could redo it. But that actor seems pretty stoked that he's the Joker.
I didn't even know they cast the Joker. This is news to me.
Oh yeah, he's the guy in the green outfit on the Eternals.
Yeah.
I don't remember his name.
I didn't watch the Eternals yet, so I don't even know who you're talking about.
Well, you've seen his figure everywhere.
I'm sure I have.
Of all the peg warmers, he's the peg warmeriest.
Is it Ajax? Ajax is the one that sticks out in my mind.
It is the guy who played Druig.
Yeah, it's that first guy right there.
Huh.
Yeah. And they're doing like he was born with a thing where he like can't stop smiling, and that's what they're going with rather than him falling in a vat and stuff like that. So it yeah.
Okay.
But they also said that like they're not even sure if they'll use, you know, the Joker in the next upcoming movie, and but they don't have any, you know.
And of course, he's not listed as the Joker in the credits. He's unknown cellmate or something.
Yeah, unseen Arkham prisoner. Yeah.
Yeah. I would love to see the Riddler and the Joker working together. The Riddler's mind with the Joker's insanity would be very cool to see. And they really went out of their way to either make him look like John Hinckley Jr., Sean Reagan, or John Denver. I'm not really sure which.
I thought Hinckley Jr. too when I saw it. I really did.
And then he started singing. And I was like, oh, he's John Denver. Never mind. I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
Also, I have had the majority of this before once I got home, so I may be slightly more.
Chris is a little loose right now.
That's
guys.
all good.
Yeah, I may be looser than usual.
That's all good. Now, what I know, some people were saying that the movie seemed lazy when it came to the fights. They said it looked clumsy.
I think it looked like guys I know who are in special forces are always taught they laugh at choreographed fights. Because like that's not how it works. You do as much damage as quickly as possible, get them down and move on to the next person. And if in this movie we've seen that Alfred is probably former SAS or something like that, and he's the one who's taught Batman how to fight. And that fight with the Joker goons or whatever they were is exactly the how people have described SAS fights to me. Is they just get and pound you, and they don't let you up, and you don't get up.
That Joker
You
fight.
move on to the next person.
And that, you know, that was my exact thought too, because when, you know, oftentimes when we see it in superhero movies, they sit around and they wait, and basically you fight one person at a time.
Yep.
And this was not that at all. He was trying to punch people and they were hitting him with bats while he's trying to do it. They're grabbing onto his legs. Like, I actually appreciated the fighting in this more than I did in any of the Nolan trilogy.
I would say the best Batman fight, sadly to say, is actually in Batman versus Superman. That one in the warehouse, that is a very well choreographed and very good fight.
Yeah.
It reminded me a lot of the fights in like Daredevil and stuff. But I love this. This fighting style was great. And the best was his entrance of he's a serial killer. He's a horror. All you hear is
Yep.
And he comes out of the shadows. It's like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Jason, if he wanted to be.
And
don't give Hollywood any ideas. I don't need a patent sitting Jason Voorhees.
He did have pretty decent lifts in those shoes.
The muzzle flash with that was such a cool scene with that hallway where I did not expect, you know, from the trailer you're like, okay, this is going to be, you know, the cinematography is going to be good. They're going to use visuals heavily. But I'm sitting there watching this movie and I'm like, oh my God, this is a beautiful movie. And it was, I don't know if you guys saw how they filmed it, but they filmed it digitally and then they put it onto like 35 millimeter and then they converted it back to digital to give it the look of something that was actually filmed on film.
That's cool.
And there's this guy on Twitter. I might have to try to see if I can find him, but he basically breaks down explained how they did it. And people are all like, well, why did they do that? And they could have just filmed it. And it's yeah. And I think it just added so much more. And that's something I wouldn't have ever picked up on because I know nothing about filming a movie. Yeah. But seeing that, it makes me appreciate it that much more, that they went through that extra time to give us something that looks so great.
I mean, there was some spots that were very bad CGI, but yeah. the whole squirrel suit flying thing, that was horrible. Yeah. And there were a couple of the scenes with him and Zoe up on the rooftop that you could tell were filmed in like a Mandalorian type thing because of how it looked. The rest of it, yeah, so good. He has such a good eye, and I don't know if he brought his cinematographer and stuff over from the Apes movies, but they really looked shot a lot like the Apes movies.
Yeah,
and those were beautiful.
A lot of the jungle scenes, I kind of got that vibe as they were combing through the city. Like whenever Caesar in Apes is going through the forest and he's swinging on the vines, I kind of got that when Bruce shot his grappler up and was going up through the building. It kind of had that same cinematography flow as Caesar going through the vines in Apes.
Yeah. Well, and I liked in the chase scene, the car chase scene, how radically different Michael Bay would have shot that as opposed to how Matt does it. Matt locked the camera on Batman and on Penguin and didn't move it. There's not all this jumpy stuff. It's a very straightforward, almost old Hollywood style shots. Yeah, okay. There's the fuel tank that explodes and the Dukes of Hazzard moment, but it was still good. It was still a well done action sequence. As usual, thousands of people died. Well, maybe not thousands. Tens of people died here. Thousands of people died at the end of the movie that we just don't care about, apparently. As any good DC movie must end.
Yeah. The shot that really bothered me, that really, really stuck out, was when it started flooding and that stage started coming down. That was atrocious. Like the inside the
yeah.
Honestly, the whole last half hour of the movie annoyed me because it suddenly turned into some sort of weird DCU Marvel movie where you had to have this life-changing event, and then he shoots the glass from the top, and all the glass falls down on people. You know how much shards of glass that drop down on those people? And then you got the scoreboard that breaks and almost falls, and it's like, what in the hell is this? It's almost, when you watch it again, when that's going to start now, and it's like two separate movies. It's as if somebody was like, oh, we need some citywide event that the Riddler does that moves the rest of the movie forward. Well, we didn't really need that. We could have been told about his little minions and stuff all from the internet, and maybe Batman's able to stop several of them, but like 2 or 3 of them still break that wall. So it's not like he didn't destroy Gotham and kill thousands and thousands of people. It would have flooded the city, but not as badly. And then the whole thing with throwing the mayor in there, and then she gets shot, and there's all the Riddlerites or whatever you want to call them running all over the place. How in the hell did all those guys dressed like that get into an event like this? There are hundreds of police officers at this event, and all of them are like, I have a ticket and he's my +1.
I like when you made them rush it.
Well, they're the villains of the moment.
I saw something and it was like, I love that they made the villains in this like the 4chan, like a 4chan guy who has less than 1,000 followers.
Yep.
Yeah.
Incels everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah.
When we were in the movie theater, the college kids in the back. One of my favorite things about movies is when you get a random commentary moment from someone in the back. Well, they'll just shout something randomly funny at a part in the movie. And like I said, College Town, we're watching, and this girl in the back of the theater, when everybody's climbing there, she goes, "Where all them question marks come from?" And it just made me laugh so hard. So I started calling them question marks, the Riddler's question marks, and it made me laugh.
I like that.
Nice.
Yeah, I don't know. It was weird because then it just changed the tonally of the movie. Is this film noir thing, and it was detective, and it was him versus the Riddler in their minds, and then all of a sudden it was no, he's been cultivating these groups online, and it was like that. We didn't know anything about it, and Batman has done so good about solving the riddles, moving to where he was. Yes, he was a pawn. He didn't know he was a pawn part of the movie. But then all of a sudden the Riddler was like, okay, here's my plan. Lift the carpet up. Here's exactly where I placed all the bombs. The city wall is going to go. We got to wrap this up. There's like 20 minutes left. Come on, move.
I had a feeling something like that was going to happen. Whenever they showed all the Riddler messages during the movie, it looks like TikToks. And I was like, I bet he's streaming to social media right now. And then when it was revealed, like, that makes sense.
Which is, then I was okay with the whole Zodiac look. Because he needs to keep that mask and stuff on so his followers don't see he's John Denver trying to trick them into a Muppet study. But, it was then that made sense. He doesn't have very many followers. He's not going to get the watch time he needs.
Yeah.
But
I actually liked the arena stuff was not my favorite part of the movie, but I did like how the Riddler was so far ahead of him that it was basically like Batman wasn't even aware that this was even going to happen. So
I think that the whole ending could have been done without the flooding. It could have just been his Riddler guys up in there, and they're targeting the mayor, they're targeting another judge or something, they're targeting Gotham's elite that are here. I don't think we needed the flood.
Yeah.
Except for that kick-ass scene with him with the flare walking along. That was very pretty.
That was very cool. Yeah.
Somehow I think that was in Matt's mind. He's like, how do I get there? Oh, I know. Flood the city.
Well, and obviously there's speculation and stuff like that, but there was a storyline where basically Gotham becomes unlivable because Mr. Freeze freezes everything. And it's like, if there's, if everything is flooded and he freezes that, but I'm not expecting an announcement anytime soon for a sequel.
They've got to decide if they're going to make this a 3-story arc with the Riddler and Joker, or if they are actually going to try and introduce Mr. Freeze or Scarecrow or
Two-Face.
Something. Yeah.
I'm done with Scarecrow for a while. I hope we skip him. The Nolan Scarecrow was good enough for me. I want to see new villains.
I hated the Nolan Scarecrow because it's not my Scarecrow. It's not. He just, I don't know. He just didn't seem smart enough, or I don't know why he was in the other movies.
Yeah.
It was him being up on the horse and the flaming, all that was okay, but then he's a judge just randomly.
It's weird. Yeah. I'd like to see some new villain. I'd like to see a Red Hood show up. I think that would be phenomenal.
Yes.
I'd like a Clayface cameo. I don't want a Clayface villain, but a cameo would be wonderful.
Well, if they did something like Penguin decides that the Batman's a problem, so in this next movie, they go after him with like somebody puts $10 million hit on him, and you have Deathstroke, and you have Deadeye, and you have the Red Hood maybe coming in to try and take care of him, or
a Jensen Ackles Red Hood.
Yeah.
Right?
I would. That would make me very happy. They got to make
me very happy as well.
Jensen can't do this much longer.
He's aging out of his prime Hollywood years. We have to get him in.
And that's what happened to poor what's his name from Firefly?
Oh, Nathan Fillion.
Nathan Fillion. He aged out of the Nathan Drake.
Nathan Drake. I was so pissed off. I am not going to go see that movie.
Yes, he would have been.
I'm not going to go see that movie.
Well, and then even Mark Wahlberg was supposed to be Nate, and then he aged out of the role, so they had to go even younger.
I'm so mad.
Yeah,
I like Tom Holland. I love the Uncharted games. I'm not going to go watch that movie. My mom and my uncle went and saw it, and they asked if I wanted to come along. I said, I'm not going to pay money to watch that movie.
I've heard it's so bad. So bad.
Rick, we've known since I think the mid 80s that Martha was in Arkham, because we started getting more. It was especially around Death in the Family and stuff like that. We started getting more and more of the history of the Waynes and the Arkhams. Where did Arkham Asylum come from? And it was built to help people initially. It was a beautiful place that was supposed to heal people, and then of course it just kind of fell. And like everything in Gotham does, nothing is ever good. Like the Robin Hood, Disney's Robin Hood says, every town has its ups and downs. Some towns' ups outnumber their downs. Not in Gotham.
Yep. The most recent, I know Rick's not much of a video game person, but the Batman Telltale goes into the history of Arkham and stuff like that too. And even if you just watch the cutscenes of that tells a pretty good Arkham story that mentions Martha Wayne. So,
and that's all part of the Court of Owls too. They go into that bit too. I don't read as much DC as I used to. I've always been a Marvel person.
Yeah.
Whenever they did big event stuff, I'd pick them up.
I know, and it's so funny because I was talking with my family about it, and we were talking about how poorly DC has done, because my family, they were just like, my mom watches everything pop culture with me, and she was like, we were going through a list of movies, and she was like, wow, we haven't seen Aquaman, I haven't seen this movie, but we watch every single one of the Marvel movies. And she was just like, would I like this Batman movie? And I said, absolutely, because she loves all of those types of, the serial killer, like criminal, all that kind of stuff. And I was like, yeah, this is probably the best Batman movie for you to watch.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
Yeah, I think so. Oddly, it's a great entry point film for people.
It is. I think about that. Yeah,
it's a great entry point into Batman, into the normal comics and everything.
Like it's a great generational intro, I think, because
this is a great Gen Z entry.
Yeah, because Nolan was phenomenal for my generation. Like, it got me into Batman. I've never been a DC guy, but Nolan and Heath Ledger and Christian Bale made me care. And then we've had this 10-year lull where it's like, here's Ben Affleck and here's Batman versus Superman, and no one cared. Yeah. It was hot for a minute, and then people were over it. I think this is going to reignite the love of noir movies and Batman for a lot of people.
It would be nice if this would force some new noir movies to come out. Yes, even if they're modern noir stuff like Seven and stuff like that.
God, I love that movie.
Even the Zodiac movie itself.
Zodiac. The source material is there. We just need a good adaptation.
Yeah. I would love somebody to go back and do some new Raymond Chandler stuff, The Big Sleep, stuff like that, and with newer stuff. But I don't think people just don't have the attention span to watch a detective movie anymore. They love to watch, hour-long murder porn on, My Next Door Neighbor's a Killer or something like that. But if you try and make them watch a 2-hour, say, Agatha Christie movie or a real Sherlock Holmes movie, they don't care.
Yeah. I was really hoping True Detective would kick off a new generation of noir. And then that just went away. Like, it was here, it was great, and then it was bad, and then it was gone.
Well, because it got bad, and it didn't keep the same characters around, and it jumped time. So I'm with Fargo. I thought Fargo was kind of going to do that too.
I missed Fargo. I knew it was on, and I never watched.
It was actually pretty decent, but again, it jumps genres sort of, and it jumps times, and then it's not even in Fargo anymore. And it's like, what the hell is this?
Yeah. Out. Yeah.
Because I love British detective shows. I'm watching a series now called Young Wallander, which is a prequel series to Wallander, which was the BBC was done by Kenneth Branagh, and they're great. It does incredible psychological damage to the character every episode. But I love those. I love Sherlock Holmes. I love Agatha Christie. I love Midsummer Murders.
Did you just say every episode they do great psychological damage to the young? We traumatize this boy every episode for you.
Yeah. Well, first episode they blew this guy's head up. I saw a guy's head blow up twice in a 2-day span. I saw it on Young Wallander, and then I turned around and the DA guy gets his head blown up in Batman.
By day, Wallander learns algebra with his classmates. By night, his neighbor's head explodes.
Yeah.
Tune in this Sunday on ABC.
Yeah, it's funny because I'm watching it with a roommate, and there's clearly going, because I've watched all the other Wallalanders, and I can see how the show's going to go. Who dies, who lives, because I just know the damage it'll do to him if somebody dies. Wow. And so they're bringing this guy back to the police office station, and the camera changes angles, and I'm like, hey, watch this. He's like, what? And the guy gets shot right on screen. I'm like, write these. Just give me an outline of a plot, and I'll fill in the blanks for you. But I just don't think people will watch detective stuff like that in mass at the theater anymore.
Yeah.
Now, maybe direct to HBO Plus and stuff, they would. But that's because that's what, the newest Agatha Christie, Death on the Nile, has tripled its money back. So they're moving on to a new one, and then now they're going to do a Miss Marple version. But it's not Godzilla, it's not the Batman, it's not a Marvel movie. Like you were saying, Brandon, those kids look kind of bored because this Batman movie had a plot.
Yeah.
And it had a lot of kind of moving parts. Like most people would have said the entire bit with him using Catwoman to get into the club and get information and stuff like that could just be removed from the movie and nobody would care. I love that kind of stuff.
Me too.
Yeah.
I think that puts in a lot of legwork towards the personal relationships of the film. That's something that doesn't happen often because people don't have the attention span for it. He goes here and he gets in, but how does he get in? Like, how'd that happen?
Exactly. Like at the end of the movie, how in the hell did those guys get into the Coliseum dressed like that?
How them question marks get in there?
Yeah, how them question marks. But again, then that follows up to Batman, which is one of the best parts is, do you know me? Yeah, we do. Then he goes back as Bruce Wayne, and they're like, yeah. Then he just sneaks in one time, and it's like he just knocked on the door was hilarious to me. There was a lot of really funny bits in this movie for as dark as it is.
And people saying that there's no humor in it. It's like, it's not the blatant like, oh, that was supposed to be funny type thing.
Yeah.
Oh.
I have two perfect examples. The first example is Penguin with his legs tied together, waddling. You sons of bitches, come back here. Hilarious. Thumb drive.
Yep.
Brilliant.
Thumb drive.
Clever.
Now, where they didn't take a hit, and you could have, was after the car chase is over, Batman walks up to the car and leans over. And in a Marvel movie, Batman would have said, license and registration, please. But they didn't take that road. So you don't take the Marvel road if you don't have to. And there was just enough hilarious bits. Alfred is a riot.
Alfred's good. Andy Serkis is phenomenal.
Oh,
I had to go back and find somebody to tell me who the old lady was. Who's this random old lady who just lives at the house and answers the phone?
The maid?
Yeah, maid, secretary. I don't know what she does. And apparently my comic book guy says, oh, no, she's been in the comic off and on for the past few years. We don't really know that much about her. She just seems to be there. It's like, okay.
Just to tie this around a little bit to toys, just to put a little toy touch on it. Did you guys see the Batman hot toy with the bat signal?
Yeah.
It's a working bat signal with a 4-foot flashlight, so you can put the bat signal on your ceiling. I kind of want it.
They try. They keep trying.
I kind of want it.
Can you imagine that the next one out's going to be a decent Catwoman, and then the Penguin will come?
The car. Give me Batman in the car, and I'll buy tomorrow.
Yeah, no.
I'll buy tomorrow. I'll put them in the car. Have the bat signal over top.
Oh,
Yeah, it's
Thank
phenomenal.
God
It's
Hasbro
expensive,
doesn't
though.
have anything to do with them.
It's nice.
Yeah.
It's in the maybe pile for me. It's really nice.
when I went on my hunt this last weekend, I saw the unmasked Batman. I saw one Riddler. I saw 2 or 3 Catwomen, and I saw one Penguin. But it's like I want the Batman with his cowl down.
Yeah.
And then I was so tempted on the Penguin and the Riddler and the Catwoman. But without the Batman, I didn't want to get the other 3. So, yeah. I don't know. I had gotten rid of all the rest of my DC Multiverse figures. I just donated them to a family that we know that works with my mom just because the little boys needed toys. So I was just like, yeah, I mean, it's animated Batman, animated, Superman and stuff like that. So they loved it. But I was
you're a good egg. You are a good egg, Brando.
Thanks. Yeah. But yeah, I almost got back into those because those were good.
I'm trying to stay out of those.
At the bottom, Blue Harvest is like Aunt Harriet, and that's what I thought too. But it's actually not her apparently. I was like, they brought 66 Aunt Harriet into the damn movie. This is awesome. What do you guys think of the dichotomy of Batman versus Bruce? And the different Bruce
I
we
think
see.
he struggled with Bruce. Bruce, I think, is almost a non-character in this movie. I think he's a vehicle to get to Batman. We didn't see, because Bruce traditionally in the comic books, he's Tony Stark, billionaire, philanthropist, womanizer. And in this movie, he's brooding Hot Topic manager who moonlights as Muhammad Ali.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think we saw Bruce in this movie. I think we just saw pre-Batman and Batman.
No.
And going off of what Sleeping just said, I think because it's the second year of him going so hard into this, he hasn't had a chance to be Bruce for so long that he's been only the Batman. And I love the line basically saying he needs to be more. And this is where we're going to see him because the mayor says you haven't been donating like your parents have with their history of philanthropy and stuff like that. And it's gonna, I think in the next projects, we're gonna see actual Bruce Wayne, who, both.
I'd like that.
Because Bruce even, between the conversation between him and Alfred is basically Bruce couldn't care less about what happens at Wayne Tech or their employees or anything. In fact, the company may or may not be at the edge of bankruptcy, depending on how you took what, Alfred said.
Yeah.
And I think you are going to see, just like you said, I think he's been Batman for so long that he's lost the Bruce bit. Because they say they haven't even seen him in a couple of years.
Yeah, they were surprised when he left to go to the funeral. They were like, "Oh, Bruce is here."
Yeah. And I think it's nice not to have that Tony Stark character.
It is. That's a very refreshing thing.
I have Tony Stark and I have Doctor Strange. I don't need another Tony Stark in my life. I liked him being he just wants to just go and pay his respects and not have anything to do with Bruce. And then once his life falls apart, it's not Batman that keeps him sane and keeps him back. It's Bruce and his relationship with Alfred that pulls him back to sanity. And I think you're absolutely right. I think Bruce doesn't know who he is either. And I think after this event, you're going to see him take back control of that fund more and try and use it to fix the seawalls, which probably don't build those. I would say if you have a city that's under sea level, don't build seawalls that can easily be exploded. But that's just me. But they did say that they were supposed to repair those, and that was part of the fund money, and it never happened.
Yeah.
That for 7 years, that fund never went to fix the seawalls, and so they were kind of breaking apart anyway. But yeah, I think you're right. I think we're going to see a lot more of him as not Playboy Bruce, but as philanthropist Bruce. And I think that might even be how you get, if there's a couple year time jump or something, that's how this kid who's about 10-ish now starts interacting with Bruce more because they go to more and more functions. And he sees I don't know. This is
Maybe
all
some scholarship program or something, and we kind of touch base with them.
Yeah, because the mayor would have lost all his money because they found out he was crooked.
Yep.
So who knows what they're even doing? And maybe Bruce is helping his widow and him in life, which would be a very now Bruce thing to do.
I kind of want a Bruce detective movie too. I want to see Bruce like really get in with the police force and like kind of expand on that relationship with Jim, because I feel like Jim has to know it's Bruce. Like that we have to explore that at some point.
Maybe, I don't know, with only a year of interacting with him, I'm not sure, because Jim kind of seemed lost when he was like, well, this could be the end of the Batman. And that whole bit was hilarious, because then the Riddler looked at him with some sort of scorn of, oh, you're not the person I thought you were. You're not as bright as I had hoped.
That's a good point. I didn't think about that.
And his whole Bruce Wayne, and it's like, dude, you haven't been completely insane this whole movie. Now you're in jail and you're nuts. What the hell?
And before Catwoman goes, she mentions that there's going to be a power vacuum. What if Bruce is the one to partially fill that and bring some stability and work to fix that?
And what you'd have is kind of a Gotham reset, where you have the Penguin versus Bruce.
That could be fun.
That was kind of how season 3, I think, of Gotham kind of went when Copperpop ran for mayor and stuff. But
Ethan,
that could be a lot of fun.
It could be, and that's
why we keep Fish Mooney out of it. No more Fish Mooney.
I loved her character. It was especially when she rips her own eye out of her socket. As somebody who's lost an eye, I did not like that. And then she steps on it. Like, holy crap.
No, I don't think anyone could do it like she did. I think we're done with Fish Mooney. Jada Pinkett, you win.
Yeah, you win. Nathan Bowden says, I am vengeance. And that's all he says. That's what and then when he's faced with one of the question mark guys, and he says, who are you? And the question mark says, I am vengeance. You can't see much through his mask, but you can see his eyes, and it clicks in his head that he shouldn't be vengeance. He could be more. I think that's the start of the end of the movie, where he talks about that he needs to be more. He can't just be vengeance.
Yeah.
He's the hero.
Yeah, you have to be the hero.
Oh, and I love the way that they were talking about that, like the wording in the beginning, like the I am the shadow, like they fear me and stuff like that. Like the criminals are afraid of the shadows because it's me. But now obviously it's going to be like that. He doesn't want to be feared, because I mean, even the person he was helping at the beginning, he was like, don't hurt me.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then obviously at the end, there's a person in the stretcher, and she puts her hand, like she's reaching for his hand, and he was just like,
as his journey completes, because at the beginning of the movie, all he is fear.
Yep.
And when the light goes on, even people they have no clue where he is. And that one guy who just robbed the store, the bank or whatever, kind of looked like he was going to go back and just say, I'm sorry, and give this back. But I the only one I know
turns around and hands it back like, my bad, I'm
sorry. I would have liked when they did the voiceover at the beginning, if they would have been Kevin Conroy's voice. That would have been as if that's how he hears himself in his head, is he hears himself as the real Batman.
I would love that. Yeah.
I'm not the biggest Superman guy.
Nope.
I never have been. Like growing up with the animated Batman, and then it transitioned to the Justice League cartoon, I was still not a big superhero person.
I've never been a big goody two-shoes superhero guy. Captain America, Superman, they do nothing for me.
See, Supes, and again, that's my generation, because we were raised on the Superman Black and White series in reruns. And then we were raised on the Super Friends, which Batman and Robin were part of, but they weren't really Batman and Robin. It was a very lighthearted thing. And then, of course, Christopher Reeves flew into our lives and showed in a dark time. The 70s were very dark, about even in theater and stuff. And that's, why Star Wars did so well. And you see before it, you see things like The French Connection, which this movie kind of reminds me of too, and Dirty Harry and Planet of the Apes and stuff like that in the late 60s into the 70s. Suddenly Star Wars and Superman come out and you have feel-good movies again. And I liked Superman because, and I always have, because he makes you feel like you could be a better person. You know, you don't need to. Superman could literally rip all these people in half and burn them to death with his lies. He doesn't need to. You know, he tries to convince people to be better than they are. And that's why I love the animated series, especially the ones that run with Batman and Superman working together as the world's finest. Because you do have the light and the dark, and you have Bruce giving Clark shit about being a goody two shoes. Literally calls him a Boy Scout many times. And, you know, he says, you know, and generally it's, you know, Bruce, come on, you know, you could be better. And it's, I like that dichotomy. I really wish we could get a world's finest, but there will be no Superman in this universe. I can guarantee it.
I don't want there to be.
I don't want there to be any other DC characters.
Agreed.
Except Batman people.
Yep. I'm almost anti-Joker in this universe, honestly. Like, I kind of want to see a new gritty detective series. Yeah. I don't want bombs and laughing gas and we're taking the city hostage. I want to see, like, internal conflict and a battle for mob. I want a mob movie, a traditional Batman mob movie.
And that's what, and we don't know what happened to Marconi.
Yeah.
Maybe Marconi is able to escape in all the chaos of the flooding.
Yep.
Because like kind of like in Katrina, when the prison was flooded and they left those poor people there, you know, for days without power and food and water. This had to have happened in Gotham too. And maybe he broke out, and now you have him once again being the power vacuum, and you have a power vacuum between him and the Penguin, and their groups are fighting a little bit, and you've got, you know, the newly minted Commissioner Gordon trying to figure it out. You've got this new DA. Maybe he's just come in from Metropolis. You just name drop something. And it doesn't even have to be Metropolis. You just say he came from Denver. And this
came from Denver.
Yeah. You know, he wanted bigger things than the Mile High City. So he came to Gotham. And then you'd have that. I would love to see a good old-fashioned Godfather-y type mob.
I bet that'd be fun.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. Something's been bothering me since I watched the movie. So when Bruce is going into the funeral, okay, and there's that guy that Jesus Christ.
The homeless dude?
Yeah, and he's talking to him. And I can't figure out who he was supposed to be.
I think he was supposed to just try to convince us he was the Riddler.
I think he was distracted. He's a red herring.
He's a red herring.
Yep, he was distracted.
Oh. He's from the Scooby-Doo, pup named Scooby-Doo, Mr. Red Herring.
Listen, that show was ahead of its time. It was chef's kiss.
Well, like, he was talking about him, like, saying that, like, he knew him, and, like, don't you look familiar type thing? And I was just like, I don't know.
I don't remember him anywhere else in the movie.
Me neither.
No, that was the only time we saw him. And, like, I'm not talking about the guy sneaking in. I was the guy on his right side that he starts having a conversation.
It was in the crowd that he had a conversation with?
Yeah.
I think he was just a distraction to make you think something was going to happen, and he's just a random corner street guy.
Okay. But one of the characters I'd like to see is Zaz. Like, that would be so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. And part of me is just like, I wouldn't expect to see like Killer Croc or, you know, Solomon Grundy or anything.
No Solomon Grundy, no Clayface, no
Bane.
There's no magic characters. I don't even know if they go as far as a Ra's al Ghul in this universe.
No, not in this one.
Yeah.
So again, there's so much setup you have to do for those now that we know what the world is like.
Yeah.
You couldn't just throw Ra's al Ghul in there because he would have to. Gotham's already destroyed. So there's that whole plot line that why would he bother? Yeah, Man Bat can't come either.
I love Clayface, and I'd love a cameo, but you're right, it wouldn't make any sense in this universe because it's so based in reality. The roots are here.
Yeah, because we were trying to figure out how to even work like Dr. Freeze into the universe.
Yeah,
and apart from like nobody at Wayne Tech's been paying attention, and so he's been doing all these things on his own for a while. But again, can you have another movie with another citywide type of catastrophe?
You can't. I feel like you almost have to focus on infrastructure of the city in the next movie. You can't do anything to the city. It's got to be about building back and building trust. It's a perfect movie to introduce Harvey Dent and just kind of work that up. Now, Blue Harvest does mention something interesting. He mentions Bane, and I don't like the character of Bane at all. But at the end of the movie, when Batman takes that syringe out and like pumps it into himself and gets mega juiced, could that be
Venom.
Bane Venom?
It was totally Bane Venom.
Yeah.
Like it had to.
I thought the same thing. I thought, well, because he's not magical. He's just,
just
there.
Adrenaline. Go.
And you know who you get to play Bane now? The guy from Reacher.
That guy. That show is fun. I can't even believe it exists.
Yeah, they're already setting up season 3. They greenlit season 2, and then they came back and were like, "Why don't we just talk about season 3?"
That show is the third most watched show on any streaming platform right now, more than anything on Netflix, anything on Hulu. Just this little tiny Amazon show is just blowing shows out of the water.
Yeah.
Yeah. God, what is Alan Richson? There we go. That's his name.
Is that
you're already Aquaman, so
God, I remember seeing him in Blue Mountain State. I just can't take him seriously at all now. Like, he's been in Hunger Games. I started watching Reacher, and my mom was watching it, and I was like, hey, the last time I saw him on TV, he was running with Oreos between his butt cheeks. And she was like, wait, what?
That's my problem with Chris Evans, is because my first exposure to Chris Evans is not another teen movie.
Yep.
So now I have a hard time. I love him as Captain America, but I really have a hard time not seeing Cap with whipped cream all over him.
That's a day ruiner.
Yeah.
Yep. That is America's ass, though. I'll give it to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he'd be a great Bane.
Be a good one.
Yeah.
I am starting to get. Where is it? 1 second here. Oh, not there. So
Ooh,
nice
100 the Joker, but Punchline.
Oh,
it is so cool, and like I could totally see at some point. Not saying with the Matt Reeves universe, but we'll see a live action version of Punchline.
Agreed.
And, she's.
We were also talking about maybe Mad Hatter, somebody who can take over the mind. And that brought to, who are his henchmen? Tweedledee and Tweedledum. Where do they work at the moment? They work at the iceberg.
The twins.
The twins.
I immediately thought of them. I was just like,
I didn't think of that.
I was like, are they? Is that supposed to be who that is?
Yeah. And of course, because Matt has a connection to Teen Wolf and stuff, and that's where those guys are from. They're from the show Teen Wolf. And much like JJ and Chris Nolan, he brings people along that he likes.
I like that. That's cool.
That would be awesome if Tweedledee and Tweedledum showed up. What'd you guys? Now I'll say outright, I did not like the soundtrack the first time I heard it.
The Nirvana track is the only song I thought fit the city. The rest of it seemed a little off to me.
It's very bombastic and very heavy. Now the Ave Maria bits, I think those fit the Riddler very well.
Mm-hmm.
But I've listened to that pretty much nonstop at work for the past few days. Yep. And like most Stockholm Syndrome, I've actually really started liking it. It's never going to replace Elfman.
No.
Or what's her name? Shelley, who did the animated series soundtracks.
Oh yeah.
But I mean, I like Zimmerman, but this is better than Zimmerman. But what do you think, Brandon?
I love it. It's been on my Spotify, and mostly it's the main theme and then the Nirvana. But just I loved, and that was something else. Was the score for this was there were only a couple moments in the whole movie where there wasn't sound happening.
Yeah.
And like the little motifs and stuff like that. And it, like, honestly, it did not feel like a 3-hour movie to me because I was so locked in on it. And even though the people around me were snoring and stuff like that, I was so focused on it because I would try to catch little things and the music that would happen along with it. And just the whole, I need to see it again. Like, I honestly need to see it.
You see Nate talking about him? Nate says that old man at the funeral he thinks is the same guy at the end of the movie that says "I am vengeance," because he's wearing the same green jacket. I wonder if that's true. That'd be interesting because that would mean the Riddler's people were kind of here, there, and everywhere. I hope so. There is nothing better than a Heart of Ice in the animated series. And they even did a DLC on one of the games on Arkham. I think it's called Cold, Cold Heart. That was really good.
He's one of my favorite bosses in any of the Arkham games where you can't beat him with the same thing once you use it on him. And so it basically teaches you how to use the tools pretty early on in the game. But I loved it.
Yay! She just constantly reminds me of Betty Lou who is no more than 2.
Oh, she's got the saber tooth.
Sabretooth.
Love it.
Gentlemen, I must depart. Somebody is begging me to go upstairs and make dinner, so I'm going to run and go whip something up for this one.
Sounds good. That's a good reason to go.
Good to see you, man.
Yep. Yeah. Thank you guys for having me on. I hope you guys have an awesome night.
Thank you for coming on, Sleeping, and thanks for the shout out last night. And I appreciate it.
Definitely. We will definitely have to do this again very, very soon.
That's a cool wrestling card.
You got a card? Is that wrestling? All right. We're going to go. Bye, guys.
Bye. Later.
See ya.
See ya. Bye.
Awesome. Yeah. What did it do? Oh, no. Okay, there we go.
Yeah, and like Blue Harper says, the best part was not seeing the pearls fall to the ground and Martha and her husband being shot and killed.
Yeah, we don't need to see
about it.
Yeah, and it's honestly, I felt the same way in the Spider-Man movie, not knowing exactly what happened with Uncle Ben.
If there was an Uncle Ben,
right? But
which I'm going with, it was actually Uncle Ben Affleck, and he divorced her or something off screen, and he'll come back later.
But yeah, I mean, oh geez, I don't doubt that they could have done like a very memorable version of the scene, but it's already been done so much.
Well, and we were given that scene with the little boy, and he was the substitute for Bruce through the whole movie, and I thought that's a great way to not have to do that stupid scene again.
Yeah.
We all know it. I don't want to ever want to see Batman's origin again or Spider-Man's origin again. Even Thor's origin, Incredible Hulk's origin, we've seen enough. We don't even need to see that anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Martha, why'd you say that name? Yeah.
That name. Wait,
no,
were you at the bingo games?
I'm gonna go back and play. I never finished Arkham Origins, which when you guys were talking about the putting a contract out, I just watched all the cutscenes for Arkham Origins, which is an early on Batman story where Black Mask / at some point the Joker, is really in charge of it. But you've got Bane. Oh God, Firefly, the Deathstroke, Killer Croc. I think there's like 8 different Electrocutioner, but and they're all going after Batman. And it turns out that it's Joker in the end, and just talking about all of the different assassins and mercenaries that they can bring into this, and even the like Zaz with the serial killer, and like I know they just did the Black Mask in
Wonder Woman.
The
Harley. Oh, Harley. That's right.
Birds of Prey. Which I loved Ewan McGregor not Ewan McGregor. Jesus. Yeah. Ewan McGregor. Jesus. As Black Mask, but some of these characters fit in with this power vacuum that's going to be going on so well, and it really makes me wonder what they're going to do with it next.
Yeah, because then you even have to think outside of Gotham as well, because you've got the they're not the Black Hand, but they're kind of like that were of Ra's al Ghul's people, who are constantly in pushing drugs, pushing stuff like that may even come into this. I still don't think they'll bring Ross in, but you could bring that, basically the Hand would come in and do stuff. But I think anything, you could really take any of the Arkham games and just rip those plots right out of there, pay those authors, and then change them enough for Matt Reeves's vision.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like, Arkham City is fantastic. I haven't played Arkham Knight either, but I did finish Arkham Asylum and Arkham City. But I have a feeling if Joker is not a big part of any of these movies, people will complain.
Of course, and I think they shoehorned themselves by having him at the end of the movie, just like they did at the end of Force Awakens by having Luke show up. Luke should not have been at the end of that movie. There should have been that then you allow a time jump to happen. And by putting the Joker in, now people expect him to be in the next movie.
Yeah.
You almost have to put him in, even if you decide that, no, that's not the direction I want to go.
Yeah.
Kind of like Spider-Man 3 and being forced to use Venom. You don't want to use Venom because it doesn't fit in your story, but the studio tells you have to use it because people expect it by now. And there you go.
Yeah. I know. I'm okay with the actor. I didn't think Eternals was great. I thought it was better than a lot of people do. Some of the hate. I mean, it was not a great movie, but I appreciated parts of it, and I liked the cast. But I'm interested to see what they do with this actor, because they're not just going to get this actor, especially since he is more popular now. He's not like a big name, but I mean, you did kind of see the misshapenness of his face and the smile and stuff like that, and
he had the little poofy hair.
Yeah, the poofy kind of green hair, and yeah, they really that honestly, like the last little bit of the stadium and then the Joker being introduced were the only parts that really had me kind of like, The rest of it, I thought it was fantastic.
Yeah, like I said, up until that last half hour, I mean, it had me riveted every second. I watched every frame. I was trying to take in as much as I could of the cinematography without losing the story. I mean, some of the shots, almost an hour of the movie was in the rain, but it looked awesome. It looked beautiful. And as usual, Gotham is another character in the movie. And Gotham looks hurt and Gotham looks tired more than probably since Batman 89. And that was what I liked about the Joker, is the Joker made Gotham, i.e. New York, look like it did in the 70s, just run down and tired and broken and ready to just lay down and, and take that 10 count and be done.
Yeah.
And this movie did a great job with that as well.
Yeah. I wasn't big on the Joker. I watched it and I thought it was a pretty good movie, but I don't think it's a movie I'm ever going to watch again. And it just didn't have that same kind of, comic book feel that, like, even this, which is a grittier detective movie, I still was like, this is where they're pulling this from and stuff like that. But I mean, honestly, the Joker to me just felt like a diary of a person losing their mind, which, I mean, I thought it was done wonderfully, but I just...
Have you ever seen King of Comedy?
Mm-mm.
With Robert De Niro? Or not Robert, was it Robert De Niro? It's that the Joker movie was two movies. It was Taxi Driver and it was The King of Comedy.
Okay.
And The King of Comedy is about this guy who wants to be like Johnny Carson. Actually, that's who he is in the Joker. That's right. That same type of character. And then he gets shot at the end. But I think having had some of those same feelings with depression and things like that, and not being able to actually get help or be able to afford help or allow help, the movie spoke to me more than I think it did a lot of people. And I have only watched it 3 times. I watched it, and then I watched it again because I wasn't sure I felt that way. And then I watched it with some friends at the house. And again, I don't know if I'll watch it again or not. But there are just movies like that I don't want to see again, like Schindler's List and stuff like that. Incredible movie. Just, it hits too hard. I can't watch that again.
Yeah.
I can watch most movies again, but there are certain movies I just cannot watch again. And I think Joker is one of those. Passion of the Christ is another one. I really liked Passion of the Christ, and we watched it every Easter for like 3 years. And then we were just like, you know what? This is too much.
Yeah.
It's too much.
Yeah. We don't need to do this again.
Yeah. It was a great movie, well shot. I just don't need to see it again.
And it just didn't quite connect on the Joker part of it. Yeah. Like, I get the angle they were going for, and like, I watched it with my ex who was working in mental health and everything, and she liked the movie, but she was like, that doesn't feel like a Joker or a Batman movie. It basically is more just a spotlight on how poorly things can go if people don't get help that they need.
Well, and there's a lot of people who say that it wasn't initially written as a Joker movie. That initially it was written as a cry on public health, but then that Warner Brothers stepped in and said, actually, this mirrors kind of the One Bad Day comic, the Joker, and you could turn this into a Batman movie.
Yeah,
and everybody's like, oh, Batman, Joker, oh, we'll do that. And while it made a ton of money, I don't think it's what they were going for, because you can't do a sequel. I don't know if I want a sequel to that movie. It's pretty much a perfect movie just on its own. I don't know if I want to see that character again. He can't
and
in this universe.
No, I don't see him fitting in any sort of Batman.
Yeah. Not even in a Flashpoint movie could I see him walking out of whatever portal or whatever they do. I could see George Clooney coming back as Batman in the Flash movie before I would see him come back as the Joker.
Yeah.
And that would, I don't know. I think you're right. I think it's just one of those movies where it's good, but you just don't need to see it again.
Yeah. Yeah. But this movie, when this goes on Blu-ray or 4K or anything like that, that's going to be, I do plan on seeing in the theaters again.
Yeah, I'll probably catch it in theaters one more time because I guess it comes out on HBO Max in the middle of next month. Like it's a 45-day window.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so it comes out pretty quickly.
Jeez.
So,
okay.
I mean, go see that again. So see it again this week, and then by the time you're ready to see another movie, Morbius will be out, and then Moon Knight will be out, and then Doctor Strange will be out, and then this will be on HBO Max.
Yeah. That's something else. I had not watched the Venom movies, and I watched the first one the other day, and I wasn't blown away by it either. I'm going to watch the second one, but Venom was one of those characters that, because I grew up with the 90s Spider-Man cartoon and, Venom in the video games and stuff like that, and then Venom in Spider-Man 3 with Topher Grace's Eddie Brock. Ugh. Yeah. I don't know. I just the Sony Marvel stuff is just not like Morbius. When I saw that they were doing a Morbius movie, I was like, oh, sweet. And then I saw who the actor was, and then I saw, I kind of saw what they're doing with the movie, and I'm just not excited for it. And I'm
very happy that it's still in the MCU, that they have Michael Keaton in as the Vulture, because that my goal is to get him and Ghost Rider together and have the Sons of Midnight start getting formed. That would be great. But
yeah, and I don't know, I just don't quite see it. I know my sister looked over at me and she's just like, that is Morbius like a Marvel thing? And I was like, yeah. And she's like, oh, it seems more like a scary vampire movie. And it
is. The comics were very, very dark.
Yeah.
And it'll be interesting to see how because I mean, he kills people because he has to, and he doesn't necessarily want to, but he's more of a Doctor Strange type of character where, he's a doctor who's trying to do stuff and then he gets these powers, and, I don't know where they're going to take it. That's the problem. I don't know where you take this in a Sony world. Because in a Marvel world, he butts up against another dark person like Dracula or Swamp Thing or or I guess the Thing. It's not Swamp Thing. Other Ghost Rider. But I don't know where you take him in a Sony world.
Yeah.
Because he's not necessarily a Spider-Man villain.
Right.
He's randomly, but so is the Punisher.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, I just the whole Sony Marvel thing, I just don't like how that's working out.
Yeah.
And I was excited for the second Venom with Woody Harrelson, and I was like, oh my God, he could be a really good Cletus Cassidy. And then I heard not great things about the movie, and
it's kind of cheesy,
not
in a necessarily good way. I mean, I love cheese. I love cheese. I love Battlestar Galactica classic. I love Buck Rogers classic. I love some good cheese TV and movies. But it just I think it just felt forced. They had to hurry up and start shooting it, and then it, which must not be named, happened, and it kind of interfered with things. And then, I mean, that movie it just appeared. You knew Woody Harrelson was in it, but suddenly you were like, "Oh, there's a trailer that comes out in September. What the hell?" When did they finish this? Where did they shoot it? What's going on? And it just was one of those movies that just showed up.
Yeah. Well, it had been pushed back a ton too, hadn't it?
Yeah, you never saw any like set pictures. You never saw Entertainment Tonight going out and getting stuff and talking to Woody or anything like that. You just knew he was shooting it, and you knew it had been delayed because of it. And then suddenly it's out.
Here you go. Yeah.
It's like, here you go. This is what we got done.
Yeah.
It's still funny. But I never thought of Venom as funny. It's like they were trying to make a new version of Deadpool.
Okay. Yeah.
And some of it's weird, but
yeah,
it was still. I didn't pay for it, so I was happy.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying to think what is it going to be on? It's going to be on, is it HBO Max?
Maybe. I'm trying to think of who Sony pushes all their stuff through.
Hulu?
Oh, could be Hulu.
Yeah, maybe. But
it might be Peacock. I don't know. It's hard to tell because Sony doesn't have their own thing. So they just kind of put stuff places. It'll be on like Vudu and stuff, but you'll have to pay for it.
Right. I don't see it anywhere. I don't see it.
That's not a good sign.
Amazon Prime, maybe?
Yeah, more than likely on Amazon Prime. It probably is on Amazon Prime because that'd be a good spot to put it.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll probably just go and rent it somewhere and go red box it and watch it and then not watch it again. But that's a good question.
Supposedly, but it's been delayed again. I know that he had a couple other movies in the works, and then he was supposed to do something with it, and then COVID happened, and then now he's doing other stuff. I still think it'd be great if he shows up in Doctor Strange, but as because in some of the comics he's actually part of the Illuminati that run things. It would be very odd to have him there and then have Doctor Strange say something, and then he looks at him and says, no kidding, Sherlock. And I can write Marvel jokes all day.
Yeah.
But I hope so.
Yeah. But that brings me back to this, honestly, between Peacemaker and this, it kind of restored my faith in what DC is doing.
Could do. And it's kind of the same way that The Mandalorian restores people's faith in Star Wars. And I mean, everybody's constantly complaining about, could Deadpool even be in the Marvel universe? This movie is PG-13. The Batman is not rated R, and they kill lots of people. There are huge fight sequences. I mean, I was surprised when it wasn't a rated R movie.
Yeah.
And it shows once again that it doesn't have to be if you don't need it to be.
Right.
But, things like Logan and Deadpool did need to be rated R. But I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, the Batman's here.
Shh. I know.
Man. Loved your movie, dude.
I love seeing the things of people with Robert Pattinson showing up at the movie showings. And I saw something that it was saying no disrespect to the people who have played Batman before, but he seems like the most excited person to be playing Batman.
And and there was such rumors about how problematic he was on the set and stuff. And I think I don't know this, but it seems to be that halfway through filming this movie, he stopped being the jackass that he was in real life. It's almost like the Batman has helped him become the Bruce Wayne we want him to be. And Robert, when he was in Potter and stuff, was a nice guy and got along with people. And then Twilight happened. And I think the backlash, unnecessary backlash to him and whatever her name is, and of course Jacob, was just too much. It was, talk about cheese movies. I mean, there's only 14 of them, but my God, that's a lot of cheese. And I think he kind of took it. You can only get beaten for so long before you either fight back, like Johnny Depp used to do and like Robert Downey Jr. used to do early in their careers, or you collapse in and you just kind of become a jackass and you drink and you do drugs and stuff. And I'm really happy that he's seems to be doing so well.
Mm-hmm.
You don't ever hate the actors for being in something. You hate the script writer. The sequel trilogy is not because Daisy Ridley is a bad actor. No, she was either directed poorly or she was given bad lines, because we've seen her in other stuff and she's fine.
Mm-hmm.
John Boyega is great and was great before the sequel trilogy, and then all they had to do was run around and yell Ray all day.
Yeah.
And look what happened with Poe. I mean, damn. And so I don't know.
And I will not say whether or not something is a better movie, because all of that is on a personal basis and stuff like that. I enjoyed The Batman better as a Batman movie than I did The Dark Knight. I thought The Batman spoke to me as a fan of some of the stuff when I was growing up as a kid, and I was just like, oh my goodness, this is a lot of the dark, gritty, even from like the animated stuff with the characters that we saw. I was like, the Penguin, even though it's very gritty and based in real life, that's totally like the Penguin that how I imaged the Penguin growing up. So
yeah, I think so. The Batman moved just ahead of the Dark Knight on my scale. Before, I would say that Dark Knight was my favorite of all the modern movies, all the Nolan stuff and all the DCU stuff. This moved just above Dark Knight. Yeah. And like you said, I think Robert is enjoying being, and Zoe seems to love being Catwoman.
Yeah.
And I saw Colin Farrell on a couple interviews. He loved playing the Penguin because nobody knew it was him. He went to a couple coffee spots around there. Nobody knew it was him. He could completely lose himself. And a lot of actors don't like makeup and stuff because they say they can't project through it properly. But there are some who just grasp that ability to use the makeup, like I really think Heath did in The Dark Knight. And you use that to your advantage. You use the ability that you might not be able to express as much as you want. And I think he had a blast.
Yep. Yeah. And it totally showed in his portrayal. I think, and it's hard to even like rank the performances, but I thought it was honestly Robert Pattinson, and then the guy who played Carmine Falcone.
Oh yeah.
And then
always good.
Yeah. And then Colin Farrell. And I still loved Zoe Kravitz as Selena Kyle, and I loved Jeffrey Wright as Jim Gordon. But those three, honestly, it just made the movie. I was like, oh, this is what I picture when I see these characters.
Nobody forgets Lego Batman. Everybody should forget Lego Batman 2.
There was a second Lego Batman?
Well, he's in the Lego movie a lot. So I consider the Batman Lego Batman to be a sequel.
Oh God. I was like, oh no. Who's gonna protect my children without ratings? I know, I was worried for the kids when the first little bit happened, when the Riddler just absolutely just that guy. Yeah. I was like,
I was like, well, and that was another reason I was like, I don't know if I want to see this, because I was like, the trailers made it look like it was going to be a hard detective, hard beating, kind of hard R. And then I saw it was PG-13. I'm like, well, that's somebody's went into the editing room and removed some stuff. And then that first scene happens. I'm like, oh, no, they didn't. The ratings just got soft during, the time of the COVID.
Yeah.
And that, it may actually be that. It could be that the people judging the movie needed a giant tent movie just like Spider-Man to come out to help get theaters back online. And if it's PG-13, everybody can go see it, without having to fight.
Yeah. I know. And just seeing, like, I don't know what and I don't always go off for like box office totals and stuff like that.
It made 125 million, which is super low to me. But there were only 10 people in my theater when I saw it.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I think, and you can hear Rum talk about it, or Bob did. Bob was saying that he thought it was going to come out on HBO Max the same day. I think a lot of people got used to that, and now they're confused that Batman's not on HBO Max.
And from what I saw, I thought it was very clear that they were like exclusively in theaters with this.
Like at the beginning of the trailer, only in theaters. At the end of only in theaters.
Yeah, and I mean, so it's over 250 million worldwide so far.
Yeah,
because that one
normally a movie like that would have made 400 million its opening weekend worldwide.
Yeah, and it is the biggest box office debut of 2022 so far. But I think the type of movie that it is gonna hold it. I'm not gonna say hold it back because it's a brilliant movie, but it's not gonna reach the same numbers as some of these other popcorn flicks.
Yeah, I don't know if it'll make Spider-Man money.
Yeah,
but because Spider-Man is a very rewatchable, even though I haven't seen it, I know people who have already seen that movie 3 or 4 times in the theater.
I love it. Yeah.
And it's like, you never went to the theater that much when we didn't have stuff. And they're like, oh, I love this movie. It was just great. It had everything I ever wanted in a movie, really. And I love Andrew, and I was happy to see him again. And I didn't even really like Toby because they all have the Spider-Man 3 in their mind. He's like, I forgot how good of a Spider-Man he was.
Yeah.
And there's nothing like that here. But when you walk out of this movie, you're like, my God, they don't make movies like that anymore. And like I said, it has a very French connection. That's a 70s movie. It's Gene Hackman is a police officer. Yeah. It's a great flick. And it has that kind of feel to it. And, I'm super stoked to go see it again. I just got to try to find time.
Right. Yeah, I know.
It's hard to fit a 3-hour movie into my day.
Yeah.
I don't know what it was for you. It was 3 hours and just over 3 hours and 35 minutes with the trailers and credits.
Yeah. I want to say it was like 3 hours and 20 something. Yeah. But it's really tough because our theater isn't even open on Wednesday and Thursday. For a while there, we were such short staffed that they weren't open Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. They were just open Friday, Saturday, Sunday. But now they do like deals on Tuesdays. They have it open Monday, so the only days that they're closed are Wednesdays and Thursdays. But on Tuesdays they do. It's like $5 to get in, and all of the concessions are marked down. So my mom was going to go, but she's a baker and she wakes up early and she's like, I don't know if I can do it, cause it's such a long movie. And we were like, she asked me if I wanted to go, but yeah, it's tough. Like, especially since we have limited hours, I'd have to go on the weekend.
Yeah. Yeah. Mine is when I saw it, I went to work at 2 a.m. and got off at 2 p.m. and then went to the movie at 3. And then got out at about 6:30. I was damn tired. By the time I got home, I was like, they were like, well, how was it? I was like, it was awesome. It was one of the greatest movies I've ever seen.
I got to go to bed. Yeah. Yeah, I know. And it was funny because my sister was like, I don't want to go see Robert Pattinson be Batman and stuff like that, and she was so totally stuck on the
Do you
Twilight.
think that was like? Do you think the amount of Bruce we got was a kind in the script was kind of a blowback to people not wanting to see Robert? Because when Matt wrote the film, he said he had Robert in mind and he only wanted him.
Right, and because he was even upset when Robert was in Tenet, he was worried that he wasn't going to be able to get him because I would say no, just because I think the way that the story happened with, and that's, I said with Bruce, we're going to get more Bruce in the second film because he was so used to being the Batman that I think the amount that he was in it for this movie was served the story.
Because when he's Batman, of course, like almost all the Batman, you can't really tell who's under the cowl.
Yeah.
But I would almost say that they just gave us just enough of Bruce in this movie so that people could get used to Robert being Bruce. And then in the next movie, you won't get this whole, Sparkles thing. Right. I do it because it's funny, because it annoys me. I say Sparkles was a great Batman. Yeah. But I think you might, I don't know. I thought about that last night. It was weird that there was so little, but I liked how much Bruce there was. I don't need a lot of Bruce. It's not called Bruce Wayne.
Right.
It's called Batman.
Yeah. Yep. And I thought they did a very good job of balancing it, because when you did have Bruce, it was the very human connections with, and obviously, he with Selena, but with Alfred.
Yeah.
And that's,
or even he's talking to Falcone.
Correct. Yes.
Very broken man by the time he got to Falcone to hear all that information.
Yeah.
And Turturro was so good about just kind of turning that knife just a little.
Yeah. Oh man, I loved it. After I watched it and I saw people saying there wasn't enough Bruce in it, I really thought about it, and I was just like, I didn't need to see him doing anything else. I didn't need to see him working on the Batmobile. I didn't need to see him in board meetings or anything like that.
Being bored at the board meetings, which is what old Bruce does.
Yeah. Yep. So I think we're going to
buy a hotel and then have scantily clad women swim in a fountain for no reason whatsoever.
Right.
And it's like, well, in classic Batman, meaning 89, that kind of thing, Bruce wasn't the playboy jackass that he is in the Nolan movies and stuff. Right. And I think Nolan made him he wanted him to be so different from Batman. But why would anybody in Gotham like this person and think that he's someone you want to invite to a function of any kind? He's like a Kardashian to me in those. He's just like, ew. You feel dirty even being in a room with him.
Absolutely. I love the new suit. The boots were a little bit, to me, because it sounds like Spurs, right? And but which I thought was kind of cool, because when he walks in the hallway, it's like, oh crap, somebody's coming. Yeah. But I don't know, and I think the next time we see the Batman will be a newer suit with some upgraded stuff. But I think the look is going to stay very similar.
What the hell were these?
I think it's supposed to be like his utility belt, but it's all the different things that pop out. Like there was a grappling hook, there was something else.
I was waiting for the little Mandalorian things to shoot out at some point.
Yeah. And I actually really like that, because it's like he doesn't have everything figured out yet. He doesn't have the tech, his utility belt where he's going to take the shark repellent out. And, but I liked the first time I saw the suit, I was very skeptical about it with the cowl and everything, with the, I do like the ears with this, and I don't know if it was just from the shots that I originally saw where it was him on the bike.
Yeah.
But during the movie, I thought the angle of the cowl and his face and everything with the way that it lines his face, I thought it was a perfect bat suit to fit Robert Pattinson.
Yeah, I do too. And even the bat symbol in front, they didn't do a stupid thing. Yeah, where it pops off and he throws it at somebody or something, and then it's missing. He uses it as a tool and then puts it right back on his chest. I was like, well, that's a good idea there. And I really like Selena's hat, kind of, because it was clearly just, but then it just had these little itty bitty little ear things. Not that, and then later they got a little bigger. I don't know if that's a continuity error or not, but once she became more of Catwoman, then her ears got bigger. But I really liked her outfit. Zoe looks great in it. I will have to say, and Chantel got me thinking that maybe I did think too much of this. I thought it was really creepy the way Robert stared at her when he first follows her home, and he's following her from room to room, and she's getting undressed and she's in her underwear, and it cuts back to him and all you see is his eyes and he's staring down at her. And maybe it's part of the Me Too movement moving into my head. All I thought of is that's the male gaze. That's what women don't like. You're being creepy. Stop being creepy. I get you're Batman, you're trying to watch her and stuff, and who wouldn't still watch that? But that's a guy, and come on, don't be creepy, Batman. But maybe I read it way too much into that scene.
No,
I have another couple of women who have actually watched the movie and say, "Did you think that was weird and creepy?" Because he had binoculars out and everything, and he was like,
"Oh yeah." Honestly, when he walks out and just piss pounds the guy, and then the muzzle flash scene in the hallway when he's walking, those are the ones that stick out in my brain. I love it.
Yeah, that opening scene, that whole opening scene where he's doing the narration and he talks, and then the light comes on, and then all those different criminals across the city see it, and they're like, "Oh crap!" And then he comes out, and that it's like I said, it was like Jason. He's just, or I guess maybe a better thing would be Pepe Le Pew, slowly just coming into the area, and is just like, here I am. And he does it like 3 different times in the movie, and it's very creepy and very cool.
Yeah. Oh, I forget who it was, but I saw something talking about the 3 different times that Batman visited the Iceberg Lounge, right?
Yeah.
And it was, he went as Batman and kicked ass. He went as Bruce Wayne and asked to be let in to see Falcone. And then he snuck in, and it was, I don't often analyze things, none of us analyze things like, we look at things differently. So seeing different people's perceptions of that kind of stuff, and you don't even think about that he really went as the
all 3 of his personalities:
Vengeance, Bruce Wayne, and then the Batman.
Yeah. And well, he went as the Vagrant at the end, the one who rides the motorcycle and wanders around town and doesn't be seen, and he keeps his suit. I don't know how that suit fits in that backpack. He's an incredible packer. But yeah, he goes as all 3 of his personalities.
Yep.
And he visits, and all 3 of those personalities have a completely different reason for being there. And the Batman's there because he's the Batman, and Bruce is there heart in hand, trying to figure out what the hell's going on. And then the Vagrant is there to infiltrate and get what he needs and get out. I thought that was great.
Yeah. Oh. And trying to think of the other things that I thought that were just done so well. I loved any time that they were on the motorcycles or in vehicles, which surprised me because usually it's, that seems like wasted, time or space.
Yeah.
But I liked the angles that they used in everything when they were driving during the chase, and then when he's following Catwoman.
Yeah.
And it just little things. I watched that movie and it was like this. I hope it receives some serious award attention.
Yeah, I think the problem is the movie's too new. So the Oscars won't be announced until next January again. And I think unless they re-release the movie around October, I don't think people will remember these performances enough, which is sad because Colin Farrell should definitely be up for Best Supporting Actor.
Yep.
Maybe even John Turturro. I don't know if Robert's performance was good enough to be a Best Actor, because I don't think they'll ever give a Batman Best Actor.
Right.
But maybe. It definitely should be up for cinematography, for director, for writing,
score. Yep.
For sound design. There's a whole bunch of, it'll get a whole bunch of those type awards in the background, but I don't know for acting.
Right.
Just real movies. And only these stupid movies that come out 3 weeks before the Oscars do they even care about.
Yeah.
And because like Far From Home should have gotten something other than a couple little random effects awards. And I haven't seen it, so I'm not saying that they're the best acting movie in the world, but it's, I don't know, they just hate movies that make money. And they entered, the funniest thing is they put that new category in, like best liked or something, and like stupid Amazon Cinderella and stuff is winning because they let normal people vote, and normal people are stupid. Normal people think it's funny that a really bad version of Cinderella could win an Oscar award.
God. Yeah. And honestly, I know it's all I'm not going to say it's a popularity contest because
it's clearly not.
Right. It's clear that very popular movies do not get some of the recognition that they deserve.
Well, that's why when Lord of the Rings won so much money, when the Return of the King won all those awards, I was like, holy crap, that's fantastic. Maybe we finally broke through. No.
Yeah.
In fact, they've even removed those awards from the telecast this year. They're removing a lot of the visual effects and creative bits because, God forbid, they had 23 categories to do in a 3-hour show, and they're taking 8 of them out so that they can have more stupid skits or whatever the hell it is the Oscars are these days. Let them ramble on about whatever, eco something for 5 minutes. It's like, get up on stage, say thank you, get the hell off. So when you go back, have you ever watched some of the old Oscar stuff from like the 50s and stuff like that, where they're in a dining room and they give the Oscars out and you walk up to this little podium and they're like, hey, thank you so much. It was great. I love that you guys really enjoyed the movie. They turn around, walk back to their seat, and they give out the next award, and they go. It's like, God dang. Yeah. And see, that's, and Heath faced that too. Heath faced, you're just not going to be Jack Nicholson. Nicholson was too good. And he was, and he's still just about my favorite Joker. Mark Hamill, the animated Joker, will still be my favorite, probably.
Yes.
But Heath, then you saw the makeup and you're like, that's actually pretty good. And then once you saw the movie, you were like, oh my God, he's the Joker. And since they couldn't do any reshoots with him to mess up anything that the glorious performance, and then when you get River Phoenix, or Joaquin Phoenix, I had no faith in that. I didn't want to see a Joker movie. This new movie didn't need to be made. I don't care. I am tired of these movies like this and Cruella de Vil and stuff like that, where they're trying to make the villain into a normal-ish, maybe even a good person. No, The Joker is just a homicidal maniac who kills people. Yes, we voted to kill Robin, but he blew him up, you know. And I don't want to see it. And then I saw the makeup and I was like, that makeup looks stupid. That actually looks like a clown makeup. And then I saw about a 2-minute clip from the movie and I was like, man, I forgot how good of an actor Joaquin is. And then after I walked out of the movie, I was like, this did damage to me. You know, this really made me think about how I view myself and my life and my depression. And I wouldn't give that back. But I really do feel bad for whatever this guy's name is. Eventually I'll learn it. To be the Joker and to try and come up against that. Because look what's happened to Jared Leto. You know, not a bad actor overall, but I
can't.
That Joker's just awful.
I can't.
You know, I just look at him and I'm like, what is wrong with you? What's up with the teeth? And what's up with all the tats? And why is your hair stupid? And it's like,
I didn't like anything about the Leto Joker. I don't know.
They tried to fix him in the Justice League expanded thing. I was like, that's still not a Joker I want to see.
Yeah. And I've liked things that Jared Leto has been in. I really wanted to see the one that he was in with Lady Gaga and at a House of Gucci, right?
Oh yeah, that was supposed to be pretty good. People thought it was over the top. It's like, no, that's actually their lives. That's how things rolled in Gucci.
Yeah. So
my favorite thing he's ever done will still be Fight Club, because halfway through the movie he gets his ass beat down. I'm like, that's what you get for being Joker.
Well,
don't worry, for 20 years in the future, don't worry about it. Punch him again.
The first time I ever experienced anything Jared Leto was 30 Seconds to Mars, the band.
Oh.
Yeah. And so then when I saw that he was the Joker, I was like, the guy that I was watching in music videos singing songs is the Joker. But
I think I only have that first album.
Yeah.
Whatever you want to call it, of theirs, and that was enough. It wasn't bad. It was just not my style of music.
Yeah. And
I think he'd have a hard time. And you know, it's this, every Batman and every Joker goes through this. Whoever, you know, you're always, I think that Robert had a little bit better time simply because, oh shit. I'm sorry. Because of Affleck.
Yeah.
And how badly they were scripted, and that he never had his own damn movie.
Yeah.
You know, there should not have been a Batman versus Superman. There should have been a Batman movie. Then maybe Batman versus Superman. And then Justice
League.
You know, or actually probably we should have gotten Wonder Woman first. Then Batman versus Superman, because then you would have known when she showed up in it. I don't know, all that's, you know, so out of order. And now they're making the same mistake again. Because now you have Flashpoint coming out. And then after Flashpoint comes out is Aquaman 2. So obviously Aquaman is not either involved in Flashpoint, or whatever happens in Flashpoint doesn't affect Aquaman.
Doesn't matter. Yeah.
Of course, we've already seen, I don't know if I should say that. Well, you know what I'm talking about, where we've seen Momoa recently. All right.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to go with this as a giant spoiler. He's in the last episode of Peacemaker.
Yeah. I was like, wait, what?
But only him and Flash.
Yeah.
Because, of course, Batman and Superman were supposed to be in it as well, but they have been, and they were supposed to be in Shadows. But, of course, they're being recast.
Well, so, and that wasn't Gal Gadot either.
Yeah.
So
it'll be interesting to see what Flashpoint brings us. But then, you know, and we have Black Adam. How do you have a Black Adam movie without Shazam? He's one of Shazam's major villains, or, you know, however they want to term him. But it's just weird that those movies come out after maybe Black Adam's first. I can't remember. There's so much stuff coming out.
Yeah,
It's hard to keep track. I mean, Thor, Love and Thunder, or whatever that comes out in June. I mean, we've got Doctor Strange coming out in that, and then Love and Thunder come out in June or the beginning of July.
Did they move Doctor Strange?
Yes, Doctor Strange is in May. I thought it was at the beginning of
May 6th. Yeah.
Yeah, because Morbius comes out, and they didn't want Morbius and the Black Knight Moon Knight to compete because originally it was supposed to be the first week of April. Then they moved it a month. And so at the beginning of the month, you'll have Doctor Strange. At the end of the month, you have Obi-Wan and Stranger Things Season 4.
Oh, my God.
And then you move on to the next month that has too much stuff. I mean, honestly, I have to catch up. I haven't seen Black Widow. I haven't seen Shang-Chi. I haven't seen The Eternals. I haven't seen Far From Home. I haven't seen No Way Home. So there's 5 Marvel movies I'm behind.
Oh.
And I need to watch the last 2 episodes of What If. So it's like, because What If is canon in the Doctor Strange universe.
Yep.
So I have to watch that to see how that all wrapped up.
I love Killer Croc.
Croc to come out.
But like we were talking about, we're not sure if we're going to see.
Especially if they could do it right, like the animated series did, where I can't remember her name. The little girl who looks like a doll could be in the movie. And have them play off each other like they did in the animated series. That was a super creepy relationship and would be really creepy in live action. And of course, now that let's say now that the city has been flooded, maybe things from the sewers have made their way to the top.
Yeah.
And so maybe, but I just think that might be too. I mean, he could be a good one-off villain if he's a B story. If the A story is Penguin and this kind of little mob thing that's going on and them trying to take him down, I still would like to see the second movie end with the Penguin being taken to court and with Harvey Dent prosecuting, and Penguin throws the acid on him or something, and that's how you get Two-Face somewhere in the middle of that movie. But as a B story, that wouldn't be too bad because he would be a one-off villain who, Batman could track down, fight, and take down to Arkham, and he wouldn't affect the next movie at all. Because you have to be very careful what person you bring in that now affects those movies. But of course, now we're tied with the Joker. Yeah, I think people are going to have a hard time. Even Marvel people are going to have a hard time with Doctor Strange. I don't know how DC people are going to handle the Flash. I mean, I guess we already live in a world with at least 3 Jokers and 3 Batmen and a Superman and a Wonder Woman and an Aquaman and at least 3 Flashes.
I was going to say, there's multiple Superman though too.
Well, yeah, because I guess because Lois and Clark's Superman is a Superman because Justice League Barry moved into the Flash's world in there in the Earth, whatever, I forgot what that was called. Yeah. So there's more than that, because then that crossover, we also had Tom Welling, who's Clark Kent and Superman from Smallville, and you had Brandon Roth come back to be Superman again. So now there's like 5 Supermen. How do you keep this straight if you're a DC person? And they all live in different universes that only will connect once we get to Flashpoint.
Yep.
I got nothing for all that. That's a take a couple shots and sit down and watch a movie type.
We'll see when we get there type thing. Yep.
Yeah.
Just gonna sit back and enjoy the ride.
Yeah.
Croc from the Arkham games is impressive. Like I love the sequences with him.
Well, and if you keep this kind of dark noirish look to it, the best thing that rain and darkness hides is bad CG. So even if you couldn't get him absolutely perfect, he would be great as a character in the dark and the night and stuff like that. If he was brought out into the daylight, he'd probably look weird.
Yeah.
But
The Suicide Squad Killer Croc I thought was good.
Yeah,
they do something similar to that. Like I liked everything that. As much as I didn't like the first Suicide Squad movie, I liked Harley and Deadshot and Killer Croc.
Yeah. All things lead back to John Cena.
Ugh.
Well, Star Wars is now part of the MCU. So, and of course, depending on who you listen to, Star Wars is also part of the Raiders of the Lost Ark universe because of things in it.
Yeah.
It is also part of the ET universe because of cameos.
Well, and there's like, if you want to look at it within the Star Wars itself, there's the world between worlds.
Yeah.
And certain people will say that they're going to use that to retcon the sequels and to.
I don't know why people.
We don't need to listen to people.
I don't get how can you think Disney's going to say, oh, we're just going to erase those 3 movies?
It's not going to happen.
Now, people will say, okay, they've decanonized things in the past. They decanonized both cartoons. They decanonized the Ewok movies. They've decanonized the entire old EU. Yeah, but that's like saying we don't like, Phantom Menace, so we're getting rid of it. No, that's the end of the story is the end of the story, no matter how, if you like it or not, too bad. Then just don't watch them anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah. I saw Force Awakens about 5 times at the theater because I didn't hate it. I knew it was just a remake because that's what JJ does. Yeah. And I was really hopeful for what they were going to do with Finn and Rey and Poe. I saw Last Jedi twice.
I saw once.
And I saw Rise of Skywalker once.
I saw Rise of Skywalker 9 times in the theaters.
Wow.
Yep.
That's a lot.
It was a lot.
I haven't even unwrapped my DVD, my Blu-rays of those. They're just sitting there.
Well, I mean, with Disney Plus, it's so easy to.
Yeah. Yeah, I and I'll probably revisit them someday. I'll revisit them. I think this year is Attack of the Clones' 20th anniversary. And I hate that movie. You're old. But well, and how do you feel that Jake Lloyd just turned 33?
Yeah.
But so I'll probably go back and watch it, but I don't like that movie. The whole center of it is weird. It's boring, and I don't like the chemistry between her and Anakin is just not right. The 2 actors seem to have fixed that by Revenge of the Sith. But in this movie, they're very, I don't know, it's weird. Yeah, she's creepy for hitting on a guy 10 years younger than her. It doesn't matter when she's 30 and he's 20 something. That's fine. Yeah. It was a lot creepier when she was, 17, 18 and he's 10. That is creepy. Don't be creepy.
Yeah.
Okay, Padme. You've grown. Whoa, hey.
Partially.
Well, yeah. You can just hit that replay button 30 seconds and it'll just replay that over and over.
Yeah.
Right.
No, it was because it was in the IMAX that it was so, like, I don't know.
You cannot fault that movie for how pretty it is.
Yeah. And
even the movies are pretty.
Even the the reason why I kept going was the Exegol. That the opening on Mustafar and then the Exegol was, and then the them doing the light speed jumping. It was so fun to watch in the theater.
See, the instant I saw the light speed jumping broke me as a fan. I was out of that movie the instant they did that light speed jumping. I was like, you can't do that. And you especially can't do it inside atmospheres. We've been told, and how did they follow them? You can't just hit a random button and then your TIE fighters are chasing you, hit random and go to the same spot. That doesn't work. Oh my God. And I was like, I don't care anymore. And then I was just like, they have an engineer on board who's a slug. How's he fix things? And then the movie just kind of was like, who wrote this? Oh, JJ.
Yeah.
Like, oh, and then they spent the first 30 minutes of the movie trying to retcon the last movie. I'm like, this is like 3 different movies all shoved together. This is weird. Ooh, the Emperor's back. I love him. I'll always love anything he's in. That's why. Did you see that he made some little comments that I really think mean he's going to be in Andor, or possibly even a cameo in Obi-Wan?
I haven't seen it, but I'm excited.
Yeah, he put on Twitter something about, you never can count him out or something like that. He can always come back.
Yeah.
Well, that's true because he's still alive in the Bad Batch, in Obi-Wan, and in Andor. He's still alive, and they're, because all 3 of these are all prequels now. All 3 are literal prequels to, well, I guess Rogue One really now, or I don't know. It depends on how they set Obi-Wan, I guess.
Yeah.
But I don't know how far back they're going.
It's 5 years.
5 years before?
5 years after. I think it's the 5, like, if you go, I think it's directly in the middle of Revenge of the Sith and A New Hope.
Well, yeah, but there's an 18-year gap there. So you're saying it's somewhere around year 12?
Yeah.
Because Bad Batch, we're assuming now takes place after the end of season 1. We're assuming that that's somewhere around 15 years before. Right. And then I would assume we've kind of been told that Andor is only going to take place a year or so before Rogue One.
That's right.
So that must mean probably maybe he takes place 10 years after. And that would be kind of in the middle. Because then we've already seen a probably 7 or an 8-year-old Luke when he kills Darth Maul.
Yeah.
Because then that's got to fit in properly too.
I don't know if we're going to see that.
Well, I don't think we won't see that, but we've already seen where he is at that time. So we know he's on Tatooine at that time when Luke is about 8-ish. No, I would love it.
It's got to be. It's got to be coming, right?
It has to. I mean, the show comes out in a month and a half. You would think, and now that they've gotten Moon Knight out of their system, then they can drop that trailer. I mean, what if they do something crazy like add a trailer to Moon Knight? And so you're watching the first episode of Moon Knight, and before it starts, coming Disney Plus, May 25th. And then it's just this like 30-second, 40-second teaser trailer, and then it goes right into a Moon Knight episode. And then the next day they release a whole 2-minute trailer. I'm just thinking like Disney. Disney are jerks and like to do stuff like that.
They don't make any sense. I understand the perspective of the diehards are going to watch it whether there's a trailer or not. But honestly, with everything coming out, you need to remind the average fan that one of the biggest Star Wars shows is coming.
Well, this week was all about Celebration, pushing Celebration. They can't wait till Celebration to show a trailer because it's after the damn show comes out.
Yeah.
And it's like, I mean,
And honestly, if Bad Batch has got to be coming real soon here. Like, not just a trailer for it, but the whole damn show has to be dropping pretty soon here.
Well, they already said that was getting pushed back.
Oh, they did?
Well, yeah, people are like, this is coming out because we assumed it was going to come out in about May, end of April, beginning of May, kind of like it did last year. But then we were suddenly told that Kenobi is coming out in May instead of what we thought was this coming fall. So I think that Bad Batch has been moved to, say, like August. End of July, August. So I think we're going to get the 6 or so episodes that we're going to get from Obi-Wan. And then there'll be that 2 or 3 week hiatus that they always do between series. And then we might get Bad Batch. Unless there's a Marvel thing interrupts in between there.
Andor will be.
Andor, I don't think it's supposed to come out until closer to the fall, because I think people are going to get pissed that I don't think Mandalorian's coming out until Christmas.
Yeah.
I think they're going to use it as a Christmas into January thing, like a Book of Boba Fett was.
Yeah, I was thinking middle of December.
Because there's still like 2 more Marvel shows coming out this year that have to fit in there somewhere.
You know what? We're going to do some digging here. Project 2022.
I don't know.
Okay. Oh my goodness. So Doctor Strange on May 6th.
Uh-huh.
Thor, Love and Thunder, July 8th.
Okay.
Black Panther 2, November 11th.
Okay.
Which I feel like that has to be moved back anyway, right?
Maybe. They did say they were almost done filming.
Oh, well, never mind then. Then The Marvels, February 17th.
Yeah.
Of 2023. But that's just the movies.
So in
then
between
the
there,
shows,
for Star Wars, we have Andor, Mandalorian 3, and Bad Batch Season 2, and Obi-Wan.
yeah. But then, so March 30th is Moon Knight.
Uh-huh.
Summer 2022 is Miss Marvel.
Yeah.
She-Hulk.
Yeah.
2022. What If Season 2 and Secret Invasion.
I know Secret Invasion got pushed off, so I think that it's going to be pushed into next year a little bit. But I would assume that Miss Marvel's probably going to come out around the same time as Bad Batch, maybe. And then She-Hulk will come out in October, maybe. Because we haven't actually been given that Mandalorian Season 3 is going to come out this year.
Right.
We just expect it to come out. But there's never been a date released for it. And I would assume we'll get a ton of new stuff at Celebration. Ton of new dates.
Updated.
Yeah, updated
timelines.
stuff.
A
couple new movies that were announced but kind of got pushed back because of other stuff. The Patty Jenkins project that got shoved because she had to go do Wonder Woman 3. I think you'll see a lot of that's. We're going to get a lot of new dates and a lot of new movies.
Do we hear anything about the Taika Star Wars, or do you think that's still too
far?
I
would hope so. I don't know. Him having a movie is just. I would love to see him do Star Wars, but I would also feel that he's going to make like Gonk Droid the movie. I would love to. I would watch every second of it, like 10, 15 times in the theater. But he's he would just take a weird character and decide to make a movie out of him.
Yeah. But you know what? Maybe that's a good thing.
Yeah. Like it would be a whole movie about Jawas, and there would be no subtitles, and there would be just Jawas talking. And
it'd be a masterpiece.
It'd be a masterpiece. Freaking masterpiece.
Let's get an Ewok movie.
Gunn do a Star Wars movie. He already made a Star Wars movie. It's called Guardians of the Galaxy. But, I'd love to see him make I would love, could you imagine what somebody like Matt Reeves would do with Star Wars?
Oh, God.
With a story like, Shadow of the Empire or something. One of the darker stories or take some of the scripts from 1313, the canceled show and the canceled game, give those to him and have him make that. I mean, he's tied up. DC's got him for a long time.
Yeah,
but that would be
Yoda is Taika's favorite.
That would be cool. Like I don't know where you'd put that. Like just before the prequels or something. I don't know because he's already in High Republic, right?
Yeah.
Is he nuts, or is he just kind of a normal Yoda person? Prequel.
Oh, he's not even Grandmaster yet, so
That would be interesting to see him go off and do his own little things. Some of the weirder episodes of Clone Wars were when Yoda would just go do shit and take clones with him.
They're in the, I want to say it's the Adventures ones, which I haven't gotten those comics. He does go off and do some things with some of the younger Padawans.
Huh.
So it's, I need to get my hands on those.
If you were going to make an animated series, it would have to be animated because live action kids would age out of it too fast. Don't you think a Jedi Academy show would do well, even if it was set during the prequels era?
Yeah,
because at the moment you can't do anything with Luke and his temple because that's going to mess up Mandalorian and stuff like that.
Yeah,
I would like to see, I don't want it to be like CW high school kid type stuff. I don't want Padawans. I want kids that are like younglings, 5 to 8 or 9, and you get a couple good seasons out of them, and then they're shipped off to their masters
on different temples.
And this in as a series that shows you whose masters had these younglings that eventually we know just get slaughtered in 66.
Oh,
one of those younglings could be Janice, which would be cool. Or even what's his nut from Rebels? Kanan.
Jars, yeah.
Kanan would be cool. Or the kid from what's the video game called?
Fallen Order.
Fallen Order. You could see some early stuff of those characters, and then they get shipped off to their masters, and you just kind of maybe in shots of those are live action versions of Order 66 from those masters and Jedi's point of view, just to let Filoni rip our hearts out just one last time.
Oh man.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Where's my Broom Boy series?
Broom Boy was wasted. Yeah. I thought that they were going to go a different direction with the whole Broom Boy at the end of The Last Jedi. I really thought, what my thinking was when that movie ended was they are basically saying that the Force is getting stronger and more, and people are becoming more Force sensitive.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I thought they were going to do. And then they obviously did the dyad stuff, and
I
really,
really hoped that they were going to do something like that. That maybe you could see. I don't want Rey as a teacher because she shouldn't know shit. She's only been doing this a year and a half. I don't want her teaching Finn. She shouldn't be teaching anybody. But 5 years down the road, yes, then I want her teaching people, and I want her to be the head of a new Jedi Academy. Or you don't even have to do that. We don't need to repeat the mistakes of the past.
Yeah.
I always thought it would be interesting to have something in this time frame, in this year and a half or whatever they want to do, is with a group of people almost like Rebels, but there's a Force user who doesn't know anything about the Jedi really, kind of finds out about it on his own, just kind of knows how to do some stuff, and it'd be cool to see that for a change. I don't know. I can come up with a whole bunch of new shows I want, but people get mad because they're in the First Order time. But it would flesh out that time. We need to stop ignoring the sequel trilogy.
Yeah. Yep.
You need to start fleshing that out, even if you start just by doing some new books. Or the comics really don't do much with the sequels at all either, anymore. But you need to stop ignoring those movies. They happened. Deal with it.
Yeah.
We don't know what don't forget, we still have the Droid series coming. We still have Lando coming.
Yeah.
We've still got those series is coming next year. At some point. And then God knows what they're going to announce at Celebration.
I'm excited for the Tales of the Jedi. I want to know what that is.
I'm really looking forward to season 2 of the anime one.
Yeah, Visions. Yeah,
that's interesting. I would actually like to see a couple extra episodes of. I like a continuation of a couple of those things.
Yeah.
Well, those first episodes, and I don't know. There's so much. I mean, I would love a young Palpatine show to show how he rose to where he is on Naboo. You know, there's a book out kind of about it.
That book is so good.
Yeah, I don't think it's canon anymore.
It's not canon anymore, but it could easily fit in. Like when I read it, it still fits perfectly because you've got, yeah.
And the Tarkin book, Tarkin. I love that book. It's excellent. And Guy Henry can still be. You don't need to CG his face and everything. Guy Henry looks enough like Peter Cushing to get away with it.
Yeah,
we don't need to waste that kind of money. You know, deep faking. I mean, deep fakes have gotten so good. You might not have to do. It might not cost as much anymore.
Yeah,
but still, I mean, I would love a good Palpatine. I would love something. I love the original trilogy. I'm fine with the original trilogy. Can I get something from the prequel era that isn't Clone Wars? You know, I love the Bad Batch. I really do. Even their, you know, side questy stuff. I mean, I love the Mandalorian, and he is Mr. Side Quest. That's all he does in his life is side quests. Are you going to come help Boba Fett? Yes. First, I have to go do a side quest. Like, God damn it, go help people. But you know, and we're getting there's a new book. I think there's a new book coming out about Obi-Wan, isn't there?
Yep, it's Obi-Wan and Anakin.
Yeah,
it's Brotherhood. I am so excited for it.
And I'm so far. I'm at least 10 or 12 books behind. Yeah, so I keep saying I want this stuff, but I don't actually. I do buy it, but I don't read it. Yeah. I've got 4 of the High Republic books sitting right over here. I haven't read any of them.
Yeah.
But
I know I've gotten behind because of basketball season, but
yeah, and you just it's all about the original trilogy, and I get that sells, and it's easy to make toys out of, and people are always going to love the Mandalorians, no matter what you do, no matter how boring you make their show, people will love it anyway. And Ahsoka, that's next year too.
Yep,
we're talking about Ahsoka and Dark Disciple? What's
the Acolyte?
The Acolyte. That's it. That's next year too.
That's gonna be, I think, that 50 years before the Phantom Menace.
Do you think we might get a Ahsoka and an Andor trailer at 23 at Celebration?
Celebration.
It's close enough that they could do a good trailer, but I don't know how far along Ahsoka is in filming.
We might get a teaser.
Yeah,
I don't know if we get a full trailer for Andor. I could see
enough teaser that they'd show who's playing Thrawn, and then have that actor come out like they did with McDermott for the episode 3.
Yeah.
I don't know. I can never afford to go to those, so I don't care. I just watch them on the internet.
Yep. I know. If they go to Chicago, I plan on going to that one.
Yeah.
Ahsoka at Celebration and/or before. I think.
I don't know if they want to blow a load like that.
Yeah.
At the moment, we'll be concentrating on Obi-Wan.
Obi-Wan. Yep.
Because isn't Celebration like the second week of June or something like
that? When did they move it to? Because I was initially planning on going, and then when they moved it, They
didn't move it all the way to August, did they?
No, they actually moved it back.
Oh.
Well, not back, forward.
Back at the beginning of the year.
Yeah. It is the end of May this year.
Ooh. So we will be watching Obi-Wan when they're there.
Yeah, it is May 26th.
The day after Obi-Wan premieres.
Obi-Wan. Yes, that's right. Yeah. Oh, and there's.
Oh,
yeah.
Thank you, Rick.
Yeah. Rick is Rick going? I think he might be going.
Yeah, I think he said he was going. I don't know if he's going as just a guest. Are you going as a person, or are you going to sell things? Because I tell you what, if you could somehow sell those pins there, My God, you would sell out, dude. No doubt whatever. I'm just always afraid of what Lucasfilm will do. They see stuff like that. It's such killjoys. Well, not Lucasfilm, Disney. Disney is a bigger killjoy than anybody in the world.
Yes.
It's going. But
oh man.
At least we'll have to do we'll have to try and figure out how to do live streams with him from Celebration.
Oh,
That'll be fun.
that would be awesome.
I really wish I could join in on the Obi-Wan thing he's doing, but it's too early in the morning. I can't and then go to work.
Yeah.
I start talking. If I stay up, watch the show, and then chat for an hour or so, I'm just up then. And so I might as well just go downstairs, watch it again, and then go to work. But I do not function well on 3 hours of sleep.
No, I tried, and on I think it was the finale. I was just like, "Yeah, I'm gonna do it," and I was like, "I can't do it, man." I was like, I
had to do it for the finale because I was coming on with Left Coast and John and Mark.
Yeah,
so I had to. But I went to bed at 6 o'clock that evening. I didn't fall asleep until about 7:30, 8-ish. But then it didn't hurt so bad the rest of the day. Oh, no, we're not good enough we're nowhere near good enough for a celebrations panel. That would be cool. That's cool.
Oh,
yeah, and then they canceled it. This is the first one in like 2 or 3 years, isn't it? Is this the first one of these since before COVID?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
That's
yeah, I know.
They announced, 2 or 3 movies and 11 shows at that one. It'd be interesting to see what they get. I actually did have a local con who said they wanted me to come and run a little thing. And I'm like, well, I'll think about it, but I have to work. So
do you want to pay me?
They wanted me to moderate a Star Wars thing. I'm like, I'll think about that. I'll let you know in a week.
I was gonna say, yeah, because I was so bummed because I've always been a Star Wars fan, but I didn't get into all of this stuff, and even thinking about going to Celebration or Disneyland or any of that stuff. But then I found out that it was in Chicago, but now it seems like they're gonna alternate between like the Disney locations. Yeah. And I was like, damn it. So I kind of missed out on my chance anytime soon, unless I'm gonna fly to.
Yeah, my mom wants to go back to Disney World for her 75th birthday, which will be 2025. And I think it's because it's an odd year there won't be a celebration, because usually they do them every 2 years generally. Yeah. But I'm thinking about trying to coordinate that so that I might be able to go down there a couple days early and then meet her there, or ship her home and stay for Star Wars Celebration. We'll have to see.
Cool.
I went to the very first Star Wars Celebration, which was held here in Denver at the Lowry Air Force Base. It was in a couple big hangars and in tents outside. And it was fucking cold. There was kind of like a sleet rain that came down. Oh my God, I've never been so wet and so cold in my life. Thankfully, nothing too bad got hurt for the sellers or anything like that. But oh my God, we've never had another one. So, oh, that's not a real place. Give a real place. I really have been surprised that they haven't moved them around a little more. Now, I get that Denver is not a place that we have a really big convention center and a really great spot that they could have it. But Disney wants to make the money, and if Disney keeps it at Anaheim and in Orlando, you're more likely to spend your evenings in the park. Yeah. Or, Disney Springs down there, than anything else, and they make more cash. Get you for the hotel, get you for the park, get you for the restaurants.
Yep. Yeah, that's why I don't have hope of it coming to Chicago again.
Yeah. Yeah, or they never, they didn't have it in New York. Now I bet you they'll do another London one because that's easy. London or Paris will probably get it just to do, for the Europe people.
Yeah,
but that's still probably maybe next year they'll do that because it's an off year here. I guess I could go over there and see a buddy. Well, Mark's over there, and Salacious is over there. I'll have my buddy grab me, and we'll just go around, pick everybody else up, and head into London. And
God, that would be awesome.
Go.
Yeah.
But
I've still never been to any sort of convention, so I'm.
We got to get you to a couple of good things. Like ours got bought out by Fan Expo now, and they pretty much priced me out of going because almost every autograph is $60 or $70.
Jesus.
I used to get a Fast Pass ticket with the Denver Comic Con, and it was $130. Theirs is $350.
Oh my God.
Just to be able to not have to stand in line forever. And it's destroyed my wanting to go. Yeah, if they do anything, it'll be next year, and they'll announce it at Celebration this year, so they're going to do it next year. But Europe is still so messed up. Well, primarily at the moment because of Putin, but mostly because there's not enough places have loosened everything up for COVID yet.
Yeah,
to plan something that far ahead.
Yeah, I know.
It'll be cool. We're never know what to do. We'll love it, and then we'll complain about it.
Yeah, I know. I was gonna go to GalaxyCon in Minneapolis. I think it was technically 2019 then, and it got shut down because of and I was bummed because Dennis Lawson was supposed to be there, and some voice actors, a couple of the Power Rangers, Jay and Silent Bob, pretty much that whole crew.
See, those guys are going to be here in August, I think, at the Colorado Springs Con, which I'm probably going to go to because I can drive down there. It's an hour there and an hour back.
Nice.
So I can go down there, spend Saturday there. Don't have to go Sunday if I don't want to. Or if we think it's going to be good enough, we just get a hotel room in Colorado Springs and hang out for the night. I don't remember there's a lot of people coming to that. It's getting to be bigger and bigger. And now that Fan Expo is pricing people out, it's weird because Jane, Silent Bob, and the crew are coming to Colorado Springs Con after they've already been here for Fan Expo, and they're charging about half the price for autographs and stuff at Colorado Springs than they are at Fan Expo. So I'm like, well, if I want to meet Kevin Smith and them and punch him in the face and say, you fucked up He-Man, jerk, then I can do it for half the price.
I forgot you didn't like Revelations.
I didn't finish it. I do need to go back and finish it.
I enjoyed it.
Tila would not act like that. Nothing in Tila's story in the comics. I don't care if they want to say it's from the comics, from the TV show. Anything we know about Tila, she would never have acted like that. Did you finish it?
Yeah, I did.
Did they ever explain Triclops and the whole metachlorian-y nanotechnology thing?
You got to finish it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to finish it.
We're like, where did this come from? This wasn't the show.
You should finish it because that'll answer your question.
All right, I'll probably, but yeah, Fan Expo is just so expensive.
Oh, that would have been awesome.
Let's see.
What? Oh, because you made the armor.
Yeah, and we had those guys.
I love this.
I love that guy.
I think I found a Black Series that I'm going to keep in the box.
I like those.
It's the carbonized ones. I think I'm gonna get the
So-
Vizsla. This I'm trying to think how much this one was.
So let's see. Fan Expo's coming. It's in July 1st through the 3rd. We have Elijah Wood, Dominic Monaghan, Sean Astin, Billy Boyd, Ashley Eckerson, Katie Sackhoff, Carl Weathers, Ming Na, Kevin Smith, Jason Mewes, John Delancey, Brian O'Hara, Trevor Farrellman, the other guy from Clerks, Jeff Anderson from Clerks, Matthew Lewis from Harry Potter, Corey Feldman from The Goonies, Carrie Green from The Goonies, Kaylee Lotz, who plays, I think it's a White Canary on Legends of Tomorrow. I don't know who Jess McFerrin is. She's somebody else from Legends of Tomorrow. Kiha Jean from Goonies. William Sabaka from the Cobra Kai. Martin Coe from Cobra Kai. Patton List from Cobra Kai. And Jacob Bernard from Cobra Kai. And those are our celebrity people. Voice actors. We have, of course, Ming Na from Mulan, Ashley from Clone Wars, Billy West from Futurama, Christy Romero from Kim Possible, Will Feedle from Kim Possible, which is, why would you put that one down when he's in Batman Beyond? Idiots. John Delancey, who plays Discord, Keith Sackhoff, of course, Elijah Wood, of course, Sean Astin, of course. A lot of these people are doubles. There's a whole bunch of like Dragon Ball people. I don't know who they are, but I'm sure the kids would love them. But they're just freaking expensive. And Ming is I think it's 70. Let's see, click on her for a second. Elijah Wood. Or let's just show Kevin Smith. Kevin Smith is $220 if you want to do a picture with him and the rest of the Clerks cast. The photo ops with him is $80. Him as Jay and Silent Bob are $350. The autograph is $99 with the for him and Jay. At the table is only $70 just for him. It's like, are you kidding? Do you know? You're great and all, but I mean, even William Sabaka, and I know that Cobra Kai is a very popular show. He's charging $80 an autograph. He was here just a couple years ago to do a Karate Kid thing just before Cobra Kai started. He was $40. I got him, Ralph Macchio, and the trainer Martin Cove for $40 a piece, and on a poster. And it's just nuts how much they're charging for them.
Yeah.
And it's.
Are you kidding, JT?
And that's what I would have him sign. Yeah. I wouldn't have him sign any stupid Lord of the Rings thing. I might if he wasn't charging $80 an autograph. I would have him sign the card thing I made for him from from Back to the Future 2.
I was in shock.
Yeah, it's just crazy. I don't know. I mean, let me see what actually Elijah is charging. So he is charging at the table $100 an autograph. If you want a picture, a group autograph picture, the four of them, all four hobbits, $319. Just a picture of Frodo and Sam with you is $180. It's $300 just for a picture of the four hobbits with you. The prices are crazy, and I think we used to have about 120,000 people show up to.
God, that makes me sick.
The con. I don't think we're going to get anywhere near that. Even Ashley. So if you want an Ahsoka autograph, $80.
Oh man,
it's like what? At Dragon Con just a couple years ago, I got it for $25. Now I sound really old, and I know I do. You know, Corey Feldman. Okay, you did the Goonies, you did a whole bunch of stuff, and that's great, and awesome. $70. That's like seems to be the base price for people.
Now, I know with some of those conventions they set the prices, but the like some of the celebrities get a certain amount no matter how many autographs they sign, and then the convention picks up the rest of it.
I'm not sure how they work.
Okay.
I know that in a smaller convention I used to go to, they were kind of guaranteed a price, but they could set their own price. Some of the people don't even take money. They take money for a charity.
Right.
John Delancey, who plays Q on Next Generation and stuff, and now on Picard, is $55. That's pretty reasonable considering I usually pay $30 for him. But I mean, people, I don't even know who, you know, this Katie Lotz person is, and she's on Legends of Tomorrow. $60. $60 for a picture, $60 for the autograph. It's like, no. Sorry. So I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah. That's
yeah, and it's sad because it's going to be a good convention. It's going to be a ton of good people, and I loved our Denver Comic Cons. And then they were a charity, and then COVID just destroyed them because they couldn't get their money. It was a $2 million deposit for the convention center, and they couldn't get their money back, and it decimated them. We didn't even get refunds from our tickets for that year because the people they set the tickets up with didn't have a refund policy thing like that. It was basically you bought them, you suck, and it was bad. So they're gone, and now for-profit people came in, and while lots of people have said they love the Fan Expo experience, they all say the same thing: it costs too much. And Fan Expo comes back with, yeah, but if you want people like Chris Evans and stuff, you're going to pay. Well, I wouldn't necessarily not pay $100 for Chris Evans or Chris Helmsworth. I'm not going to pay $80
for
some random Clerks movie.
Yeah, there almost needs to be tiers of.
Well, and usually in places like that's why I love the con I want you to go to is Dragon Con in Atlanta. So much fun. It's so much people watching, so much just camaraderie. I can't say that word at the moment. At the parties and stuff, and just everybody, there's no hate, and people just they wear the dumbest, stupid costumes, and you're like, that's awesome. Can I get a picture? Click. And then they'll have all these celebrities and stuff, and none of them charge this huge amount of money because there's like 60 of them, 60 or 70 guests. And so you can't charge $100 because then they're going to go get 3 autographs at the same price they would have paid for yours.
Right.
You know, but Dragon Con, I think, is the one you would really enjoy. The parade is fun. The hotels, if you get to them, are fun. It's just a blast. So much fun. And we'd be close enough that, you know, Aaron them could come down, G-Force could come,
yeah.
You know, Sleeping could come. It's, you know, in Atlanta is kind of centralized. John might even come up from Florida. But
that'd be cool.
Yeah. So I might look into that for next year. This year, tickets are kind of already pretty much sold out. It's hard to get into hotels. You have to get into hotels pretty early.
Yeah.
Because the convention itself is held at 7 different hotels in downtown Atlanta.
Jesus.
And then one kind of convention-y thing has where the stuff is sold. It's actually an old mercantile building. It's on 3 different levels, has all the people selling stuff. So we have to get it together where we were all going to go like next Labor Day, not this one. And then get everybody together, figure it out, and make a trip down. But you'd melt, but it's, you know, it's for your...
Yeah, I would. I
do.
You know,
out of that airport, and I'm like, oh, God help me.
I was gonna say I did pretty well when I went to California, but it was March when I went. Yeah, it was 70 degrees.
We went to Florida, and that was at the beginning of December. It was not bad. There was still a couple 8 days where it got to 80, but there were enough days in the mid 70s. It was like, this is really nice. This is when I'm always coming back to Disney.
Oh man,
Uh,
I don't know. I'm hoping to eventually get to the point where I will be getting to go to some of these conventions.
as a dealer.
As a dealer, yep. I'm slowly working my way. I'm hoping within the next week or two to be able to apply for selling on Whatnot, because you pretty much, they kind of contact you, but you can apply through it. And they look at your social media stuff. So I'm trying to build that up and they basically base it around if it's comic related or whatever you're selling related.
Yeah.
So I did initially apply as my Apprentice Ewok one, but because it wasn't all comics, I might not get the same.
Yeah, you have to pump out some content pretty quick for the channel.
Yeah.
Beyond just rambling for 3 hours.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. And I'll be working on that really over the next couple of days, which I'm excited about.
Yeah.
Because basketball really, really took up so much time. But yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to run off and get some food myself.
Yep, that sounds like a good plan.
So thanks for having me. I love your new channel. Love the direction. I think it's a great idea. Like I said, you're filling a gap there, and that's the best way to make money. To fill a gap and doing something you love and taking that to other people and getting other people to love what you love, because there's got to be more geeks in your town.
Yeah, absolutely. I know.
They all hate driving that 2 hours to do anything as well.
Yeah.
So, but always a good time talking to you.
Yeah, I love it. It's crazy how quick we can turn an hour into 3 hours. And
3.
Yeah.
Thank God sleeping didn't stay. The little one would be starving right now.
Yeah. Sleeping. Yeah. Yeah. Thanks, Rick. And thanks everybody else, JT and G-Force and Aaron and Michael.
And the Batman.
Ezra. Yeah, this is a great first stream. Mark and everybody who popped in. So thanks. All right.
I'm always here if you need me. I do my streams on 8 a.m. Friday morning. So unless you ever have a teacher planning day or something, you're off. You're always welcome.
So Friday the 18th, I will be off.
Ooh, okay. Come on.
All right.
Start it up. We'll figure out what we're going to talk about.
Awesome.
By then it'll be recovering from St. Patrick's Day and 18th. I don't think there's anything good coming out. We'll figure out something.
Yeah. So, all right. Sounds
cool.
good. See you, Chris. Thank you again.
Later, guys.